Hello there, I'm a humble Twitch streamer. Today is January 11th. This is my very first podcast featuring PossiblyExplosive, talking about self-introductions, giggling at complete bullshit, talking about the Soldier Boy console, Humble Bundle, Humble Stores opening up for the Twitch Switch, and Mick Gordon, a little bit of the Wii U selling for way too fucking much, Resident Evil 2, talking about remakes. I said there's a Broly movie coming up, and I spent more time in the intro
Broly!
talking... I had said there's a Broccoli movie coming up, and I spent more time in this intro talking about it than I did in the actual podcast. We mentioned how Tales of Vesperia probably doesn't actually need to be re-released again for a millionth time, and games being more accessible is not a problem, but charging too much of them for them and not putting enough effort in them is a problem. This is my very first podcast, and we didn't know how to segue, so... So, which sports do you like to play?
I play Rocket League.
Anyways, I'm gonna say that you identify yourself as possibly explosive, and I, for the moment, identify myself as Grizzly. Do you have any tattoos or piercings? You got a dick tat you want to tell me about, bro?
Well, so it starts out like a dragon, and on the head of the dragon, is a little piercing. So it's like he has a pierced nose.
Ew.
The thing is, like, you gotta think, if you ever get a dick tat, would you have to... I feel like you would have to be hard the entire time.
Yeah, I would want to do mine something that would replicate like a sword or something, so that when I'm fully erect, like, so here's the thing. When it's, so like the skin, there'd be like a rock, right? And then like when it's flaccid, and the sword would be in the rock, but then when I'm erect, the sword would be drawn from the stone, right?
Either that or like... So, because obviously when it's shorter, it's going to be, the skin's going to be scrunched up.
Yeah.
It could be like a sword and a sheath. Mm-hmm. So, as you're getting erect, it looks like the sheath is pulling off of the sword.
Okay, so... give me some of your favorite bands. I don't even know any of your favorite bands. You like Post Malone.
Is Post Malone a band?
Yeah.
I mean, he's been in a couple
I
of
keep calling
bands.
him Post Alone a lot.
Post Alone?
He sings about being fucking lonely and his girlfriend breaking up with him and breaking up with his girlfriend or whatever.
I thought you were, like, posting on Craigslist that you needed a loan.
I guess I could be taken a lot of ways.
I need a loan. We'll give beige for loan.
I don't know. All I listen to are anime and video game soundtracks, so I don't really have a lot of... Cage the Elephant was my favorite band for a while. And
they're always a good listen, though.
Yeah,
Even if it's just in the background, they're a good band to just have playing.
It's one of the bands where you could like jump around and dance to it, and it could also be in a car commercial. You know, it'd be different songs. It wouldn't be the same song, but...
Well, I was going to say either that or just, like, the instrumental versions of, like...
Yeah. Like, In One Ear is one of the songs where they're, like, absolutely screaming, and I actually loved it. I actually was introduced to Cage the Elephant, like, a lot of people were introduced to Smash Mouth, where, like, I heard it on something, and then I was like, oh, okay. Well, actually, no, that wasn't true. There was a girl. There was a girl that I was talking to, and she liked Cage the Elephant, and I talked to her, and I was like, that's a dumbass name for a band. And so I went and listened to it, and I'm like, they're actually not bad. And then there was another girl that I liked that wasn't the same girl, who I was at her birthday party, and she had...
I don't think she was.
She rented out an arcade overnight, but it was one of the console arcades where it's not like arcade machines. So she's got a bunch of consoles.
It's where it's like just a bunch of Xboxes and shit. Yeah.
And I wanted to impress her.
There was one in the mall in Wilmington, and then shut down real quick.
And she really liked Borderlands. She wanted to play Borderlands with her, and I wanted to impress her. So, and I never played it before. And the intro had Cage the Elephant, and that's when I was like, this band is meta. This band, like, dictates the women I like. Like, that's
funny.
And, yeah, so, like, Cage the Elephant, and I guess, when I was a teenager, Fort Minor.
Fort Minor.
Yeah.
Yeah.
When I was, like...
After the Jay-Z album of Linkin Park, and then Fort Minor 4.
Yeah. That thing...
Oh, boy.
I liked Mike Shinoda a lot. Like, too much.
Mike Shinoda's real... I mean... I definitely enjoyed his music, and I enjoyed Fort Minor. It was one of my favorite... It's not even actually a song, but like for several parts throughout it, he's just talking about the creation of Linkin Park as a band, and like how their producer was like, hey, I really like you guys. You should drop in Shinoda. You should all dress up in lab coats and cowboy hats, and you should like all this other crazy shit. And it was just like, Wait, so you sign these people because you like them, and then you're like, now change everything about your band.
Yeah, that's everything. Paramore.
Oh no, and they went along with it is the issue.
Yeah.
Yeah. No,
This
that's
is gonna happen on my
disappointing.
stream.
Oh no.
Someone's gonna be like,
Roblox content. Nothing but Roblox.
oh my god. Imagine if my stream was what people asked for every time. Nobody would watch it, because nobody wants to watch that.
I mean, so you already hit a pretty, I would say, young demographic. It's younger than us, but it's still not, except for a few actual children. But then there's
I'm gonna get flamed for this podcast.
oh my god. That's why it's the toxic hour.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, with certain content, it's interesting, like games like Minecraft and Roblox, even Fortnite, where it's this enormous phenomenon where it's just a bunch of like 8-year-olds that are somehow making these people rich off of watching their content.
Yeah. That's how like anything that's like toy marketing works.
Speaking of like toy marketing, where like and Roblox, where like how do you market toys for essentially an open source game, but then you have like, oh, it's the Roblox Pizza Man. I was like, is that an actual character? Like, what is that even?
Well, it's a lot like,
because for the longest time I was like, oh, it's just kind of like it's a knockoff Minecraft, but it's not. They kind of ripped off the aesthetic of Minecraft
and Legos.
But then
didn't
but
they used
made
to
it
have
way uglier.
Didn't they used to have hands like Lego people?
I don't
Never?
think so.
Okay.
That's why it's always been kind of
In a better
Minecraft,
world.
except they had those like pill-shaped heads. But then there's the. It's always weird though when you see the like
hate the
slightly
way they
different
look.
body shape.
I hate the way they look. Okay.
Yeah, it's just
You didn't tell me anything about your favorite band.
Oh, my favorite band. Oh my gosh, I'm so sorry. Wow.
PossiblyExplosive's favorite band. He's got nothing.
Yeah, absolutely nothing. I don't listen to music.
We
never.
both like Mick Gordon.
Mick Gordon is excellent. I mean,
The-
I definitely gravitate more towards metal and metalcore, punk pop, stuff like that. So
I listen to Anime Girls. Lolly
Yeah.
softly breathing for 10 hours.
Well, that's like I was listening through 4 Years Strong, and they're definitely one of those bands that I really want to see them in concert. And one of my coworkers got me a Christmas gift where it was a shirt as well as concert tickets to go and see 4 Years Strong. However, it was on a Tuesday night, and I was taking night classes at the time, and I had already missed classes because I was sick. And it was one of those where you could only miss one class because the class was like 4 hours long.
Mhm.
Did not get to go and see that concert. Very disappointing.
I'm using my fucking second monitor as a coaster.
Yeah, I'm kind of disappointed in you, but I wasn't going to talk about it.
Not trying to flex my fans.
But I got water here, and it's clean-ish.
Not trying to flex on my fans. It's not that clean. It's actually just sink. It's dirty sink water. I usually have a pitcher to clean out
They
all my
don't have
water.
to know that, though. We're flexing. I mean, not flexing.
Yeah, no, we're not flexing.
Absolutely
on
not flexing.
Have you ever been in love? How do you go from are you boy or girl? Have you ever been in love? Crossing a boundary here. I love my mom.
Well, that was the love is such a weird thing for people where it's like, oh, are you like if you say I love you to someone, most people kind of like freak out about it.
This is a video game podcast.
Yeah,
We're gonna back up.
I mean,
it's gonna be no. This is an introduction.
Yeah, no,
But
it's such a weird question where it's like you can love people without being in love. God,
Well, that's the thing. There's like a girl that I've talked to.
you talk to girls.
No, she talked to me once. I said hi.
And then ran.
It's like get super mad when I would tell some like a random person like, "Hey, I love you." I'm like, why do you love that person? I'm like, it's not equivalent to like a romance love. That's not how it works. Like an Overwatch.
Like you love your family and like really close friends you can love but
you can love people and like you can love people. Like you can love the human race and it not have to be like you want to like wipe your dick on all of them. It doesn't mean like that.
Yeah, I mean, oh God, you want to wake up every morning next to them. And
Yeah, it's not like you want to go down like them in a line, like like kids with the staircase, like what are the railings with all the poles, and like you roll the stick down them, like take your dick
The
and just
railing with all the
like,
railing indeed, railing indeed.
Getting railed.
Microsoft or Apple, is that even a question?
Isn't I don't this not for this at all. I think we're what is your favorite flag?
One with a big old
A red flag.
McDonald's M on it.
Have you ever gone camping? Yes, and H1Z1 went camping a lot. This fake tan one is so weird. My favorite city spelled with a U.
Oh, it must
Oh,
be
it's on
Canadian.
UK. Yeah. Is
They have like extra letters for some reason.
my favorite city is Tokyo. No, it's Akihabara.
Oh, Anime Town. Excellent.
Yeah. Are you wealthy? In love.
Stacks, dude. Stacks.
Stacks of love and affection. And do you work? I think we work. And list of subjects.
Like our relationship?
Yeah.
Do you work?
That's what it says, right?
Yeah, well,
I mean, we work, don't we? What do you like?
trying to flex,
What do you like most about yourself? My flex. And what do you like least about yourself? Not being able to flex all the time.
how
a simple
pitiful
one.
my flex is.
After not working at the post office, my flex is getting flex is getting weaker and weaker every day. I need to do some push-ups. I actually really need to exercise. Which do you ever feel guilty about telling people that you're exercising? Because I do. Because when I'm not exercising and I hear other people talk about exercising, I don't want to fucking hear it.
Yeah, that is. God, yeah. That's one of those things where it's like, you can't talk about it. You can't talk about exercising. Because as soon as you do, people are like, you trying to flex on me right now?
Right.
Are you being that dude at the gym right now? That's grunting way too hard and like lifting up like 400 pounds. Why are you even here? You won. Like, go home.
I've always waited for a weightlifter to shit themselves. I'm gonna be careful because like.
Do you just hang out at gyms? I'm not using them.
Just sitting on a bench in the corner, like
he's just like, oh hey bro,
hands over mouth, Gindo stop.
He's like, hey bro, did you want to use these weights? And I'm like, no, I'm just waiting. I just want to observe.
I'll be like, add 5 pounds. Add 5 pounds.
Keep going.
Yep.
No, you got it, bro.
Yep, you got it.
God damn it, his back broke before he shit himself. Alright, fine.
Well, they're always just so.
It's like they're going Super Saiyan.
Yeah, I'm always waiting for that.
Or they go Super Saiyan. Those are the only two options.
Break the human boundaries.
Yeah.
Okay.
Just like that one kid that was like, if you put your mind to it.
All right. So, what's your Taco Bell order?
My Taco Bell?
What was your old Taco Bell order was Meal Deal D.
The Meal Deal D?
And they took it away.
It was a legend.
So
it was $3. It was $3.
And you got a bag of Doritos.
Shut the
and
fuck
I would
up.
have never known you get Doritos from Taco Bell.
Because it was the 5-layer burrito.
Yeah.
It was a bag of Doritos and a drink. So it was like, hold on, I pay $3 and get way more food than any other thing on this menu. And then they stole it from me after like 10 years of ordering it.
The Meal Deal D. Because it didn't seem like it was lucrative for their business.
Oh, absolutely. And they had, that was like, I'm pretty sure the only meal that came with Doritos.
Yeah.
So they're like, we have all these fucking Doritos just laying around. Nobody knows about the Meal Deal D except for this one guy.
Who orders the Meal Deal D.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I just get whatever the $5 cravings box is, and use fire sauce.
Yeah, like how you were just like, yeah, I don't know what I want. Yeah, there's this new $5 box, and I don't really know. And the whole time you're like, gotta play it cool, $5 box. Yeah, I'm really contemplating a $5 box.
Waiting for the opportune moment. I was weakening my Pokemon before I captured it.
You were throwing berries
Yeah.
at it?
You can't just throw your balls around willy-nilly. I've learned that from past relationships.
Oh, no.
And I like Diablo sauce, but I feel like Diablo sauce doesn't taste as good as fire sauce.
No, it gets to the point where it just tastes gross.
Yeah. It just doesn't, it's not appealing anymore. It's a no. What's one of your favorite video games? No, what's one of the games that made you want to play more video games? Because mine was like, one of my first games that I was like, fucking video games. One of them was Smash.
Yeah.
I think that was the first time the fire was lit in my heart to beat the shit out of people in video games. It's because Justin, the guy, my cousin, at the Thanksgiving brought his GameCube over. It was the first time I actually saw someone carry a GameCube by the handle on the back of it.
Oh my god!
And he brought it over.
The only person that's ever done that ever.
Yeah, I've never seen it happen. You just carry it by the actual like a normal person, and I was like, what the fuck is that? Because I thought it was like
lunchbox?
Yeah, exactly. And he fucking like he brought it with him, and he was avoiding everyone. And his dad was like, "Hey, why don't you go upstairs and play games with that old boy over there?" And then he was like,
"You do have a very son,
Dad. I guess, yeah, sure." And then he was like, really reluctantly, like, we go upstairs in my parents' bedroom, and he sets up his GameCube. And he beats the shit out of me in Smash Brothers. I mean, like not even like I didn't know how to shield, or he was like wave dashing and shit. I forgot who he was playing as. He beat the fuck out of me. Like I didn't even. And the only thing I just wanted to play more. I just wanted to I wanted to beat the shit out of him too. And then I never got that opportunity. And he doesn't play any of the new Smashes. He's one of those melee elitists, you know, like yeah. So he never plays any of the new Smashes, and those are the only ones that I really care for because of balancing.
The newer ones they understand that people are
breaking their game.
Well, that and taking it seriously as a fighting game, and they're like, well, maybe we should take it seriously as a fighting game
and balance it.
Yeah,
a
little bit, just a little bit.
So,
like the supers, they've definitely balanced a lot of the supers. They used to be super broken and shit.
Super broken.
Yeah,
broken super. And the next one for me would be like Sonic the Hedgehog, which is the first game I played from start to finish, and it was I had it on a PC game called the Sega Smash Pack. It had Sonic 2. It had a game called Shining Force. It had Alex Kidd, Comic Zone. And,
Comic Zone. Yeah, because it was was this the game that it was like the pack that had just a bunch of different Sega games on it? Yeah. It was all Sega Genesis games. I remember I had that on the PlayStation 2. And especially Comic Zone, where I was like, this is not Sonic, but I think I love it.
Right, yeah. It also had Vector Man. No, it didn't have Vector Man. That was something else. No, it had Vector Man. But then they also released Vector Man alongside the Sonic Mega Collections on the GameCube and PlayStation. Yeah,
that was the weird thing, was the Sega Collection, it was geared, at least the one that I had was geared all around Sonic, but then there were those weird outliers, like Comic Zone, where it's just like, you're not Sonic. But
there was several Sonic games that had some just like thrown in Sega games, like one of them had Flicky on it. I'm pretty sure, so there's two, I know there's Sonic Mega Collection and Sonic Gems Collection. Sonic Gems Collection was a lot of the off like the weird games, and then Sonic Mega Collection was all of the main games. It had Sonic and Tails Adventure. It had the Game Gear games on it, and then it also had Sonic CD, which is the reason that I wanted it. It's for Sonic CD because everyone was like, "This is one of the most definitive Sonic experiences," and it's not.
No,
it's a good Sonic game. It's a good game. I don't even want to go as far as it's a good Sonic game. It's a good game. It's one of the first Sonic games where I feel like it actually implemented new mechanics, with heavy air quotes, of like past and future, which I thought was amazing. And you wanted to play through it multiple times because you want to see the past and future of one level. But like that's I don't know if it's Sonic. But yeah, they had like a bunch of random games. But those were my first games where I was like, I like video games. You know?
Yeah. Well, my introduction to video games in general was playing the NES with my dad, and it was the original Castlevania, and it was Super Mario Bros. 2 were the main games that I would try and play, though. I was garbage at it, but it was definitely one of those things where it's like...
It was still magic, though, right?
Yeah, no.
Yeah.
And I was like, I have to get better.
Yeah.
And from there... my introductions to video games were always these older ones at first. So, like, there was a barber shop that my dad and I used to always go to, and there was this one woman, she was really mean, and she just hated everyone, so I don't understand why she was there. But she was cutting my hair, and she goes, "Hold on." And she walks over to this little, like, closet, opens it up, reaches on the top shelf, and pulls out a Game Boy Color with Pokemon Red. And she goes, "Play this." And I had no idea. I had never played a Pokemon game. I had seen the anime, but never played a Pokemon game.
Right.
I'm like, wow, this is awesome. And I start playing, and she had a Charmander on her team, and I immediately get killed, and I was devastated that this Charmander that I literally had just met was dead. But it's this amazing thing that, like, instantly kind of having that connection
Yeah.
and then wanting to keep playing. And then from there, I ended up having a PlayStation 2 and a Game Boy SP. I don't remember in which... No, I got the SP first for Christmas. And my parents did that like sneaky little thing where they give you all the gifts except for that first.
Yeah.
So I got like a little box for the SP. It was this just little silver metal box where it was for an SP, and then you could put games along the bottom.
Yeah.
There was like enough room for maybe 2 games if you kind of like cocked them a little bit. It wasn't very well designed, but it was advertised as a Game Boy SP box. I'm like, so I got an SP, and they're like, no, you didn't.
They kind of blew the cover, though.
Yeah, no. They were like, no, we just figured it was a cool box.
I've had something like that almost happen. It was one of the most frightening times as a kid, because you're like, really excited during Christmas morning. Like, running upstairs. My mom was very good about sneaking gifts whenever I was sleeping. And I was going to get... I think this was the Christmas I was going to get a GameCube or an Xbox. I don't remember, because both of those were like one of the Christmases where I was like, is it a dream? And I was like, I think I was going to wake up, because my mom was throughout my entire life, very against video games, which is funny because, you know, I've told the story many times where it's like, I don't want you to grow up to be a person who only sits around and plays video games, and now her worst nightmares come to culmination, I think, because she kept video games from me for such a long time, and now I'm like, I gotta make up for lost time. So
I love them!
Yeah.
But mother, I love them!
And I got this, I picked up one of the presents, and I was about to, I was like the Wolverine of Christmas, dude. I'm talking about, I got a present, I was like that shit was open in like 2 seconds.
Oh no, see, I always tried to preserve the wrapping paper whenever I opened presents, whereas like, gotta really open it. My parents always gave me shit for it as a kid, where
I would literally just rip the shit out of it. So I picked something up, and I was about to rip the shit out of it, and my mom fucking LeBron James denied that shit out of my hands. And it was the scariest thing to me as a kid, because
knowing your mom, it's 100%.
So I was like 100% focused. You ever forget about the outside world because you're like looking at something so fucking hard? So I was like, it was in my face. I was 100% focused on what was in this thing, and a hand comes out of the ether into my small little world and smacks the shit out of the box in my hand. And she said, "You can't open that yet." And I was like, okay,
go play outside.
Yeah. I was like, okay. Yeah, so something almost like that happened to me, but my mom made sure it did. She was very, woo!
Well, so the first game I had on that was Sonic, and I've always been a fan of Sonic, and it came from, actually, it was a summer camp that I went to, where there was this one kid that he convinced, like, the 3 others of us that Sonic was good, and so we were like, yeah, Sonic's great, and so we really liked Sonic, and then when I went to elementary school, and everyone was singing High School Musical and making fun of me for liking Sonic, and I just didn't understand.
That's really funny, actually.
Yeah, no, they knew every word to every song from High School Musical, and to me, I'm like, that's dumb.
Yeah.
But then they were like, "Ha, you're stupid for liking Sonic." I'm like,
middle school was definitely that time where people were like,
very cliquey.
I like what I like, and you're dumb.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. And that was the only argument that they needed.
Yeah.
Because like, at that age, you didn't have to think further than that.
No, the internet.
It was like why don't you like this person? They're stupid. Okay, I guess I don't like that person. Like,
I mean, the internet's still like that.
Oh, absolutely.
Everyone has an opinion on the internet.
No.
I like what I like, and you're dumb.
Yeah, no. The internet is definitely the epitome of having an opinion and not having to have any kind of basis behind it and just screaming it at everyone.
Yeah, it's okay to have an opinion without a reason. It's not okay to scream it at people and not have a reason.
Yeah. Well, yes. You have to be willing to back it up. Like,
if you're gonna come out and
like that's dumb,
berate other people,
well, like kind of like the argument of like, there's no such thing as a bad game, and Sonic is an excellent example of that, where it's like there are, as a series, as a franchise,
there's no long running franchise that doesn't have bad games.
Oh, absolutely. But Sonic has also tried to. I feel like out of any other series, well, I don't know. All those mascot kind of platformers have tried to veer off and do other stuff. Mario has been incredibly successful for the most part because they've done like Mario Party and Mario Kart.
The worst that Mario gets is average. Too.
But everyone wants to think about those. I mean, there's some weird Mario games out there that are like first party Mario games that didn't take off, that people are like, yeah, we don't talk about that. It's fine. It's whatever. Like not all of, but most of the Mario RPGs that come out are mediocre, especially as far as RPGs go.
Yeah.
And nobody really talks about
Except
this.
for,
literally
one of them.
Like, literally one just came out for the 3DS. Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly. That reaction is perfect.
I made a face.
I saw it, and I was like, I've heard nothing about this game.
God damn.
It's another one of those Mario and Luigi, and it's like Bowser Jr. something. Because it was like...
I think I heard a whisper.
Yeah,
somewhere.
exactly. But most of the weird things people just kind of like sweep under the rug and they don't talk about. Sonic, unfortunately, for better or worse, is up front and center about, we're doing some weird shit, and it's a mainline game. Because they don't make that essentially Gundam distinction of like Universal Century and everything else. Sonic is Sonic no matter what they're doing. And like, yeah, Sonic's playing golf now. Why?
I think I actually really liked it whenever, like, during the Sonic Generations era, whenever they were like, that's classic, this is a new boy.
Yeah.
And
no, that's great. No, they did
Yeah.
it. Like, Sonic Generations is definitely,
I think
the best of modern Sonic and classic Sonic.
Yeah, I thought it was real. That
But
was
it's
like
also good to make that distinction.
warmed my heart. Yeah, and that's making that distinction. Put it in the same realm as Mega Man now, where they can make a classic Mega Man. They've always been able to make classic Mega Man and Mega Man X, but Sonic didn't have a differential between.
Yeah, it was like this is the progression of Sonic, and now there's literally that distinction of, okay, this is the classic gameplay, this is the new gameplay.
And that's why Sonic Mania can exist, because it's like
it's classic.
It's classic Sonic, and not
but
new
then Sonic Forces comes around and muddies the waters with that.
I don't know
unfortunately.
what that is.
Yeah, I wish I didn't know what that was.
Sonic F.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But Mega Man is another great series for that, where like it has the mainline series, it has Mega Man X, it has Battle Network, which was my first introduction to Mega Man.
Which
was playing Battle Network.
The fact that you like played the Mega Man game where you can't jump and shoot.
Yeah, no, literally like I guess an RPG. Mega Man.
Yeah.
Was my first introduction to Mega Man, and I really enjoyed it. But it made me want to play other Mega Man games.
Yeah. There's something really appealing about a Power Ranger with a gun for an arm.
Oh, absolutely. And then you have, from that point, there's also like the Mega Man soccer game and other weird stuff. There was Mega Man Legends, which was way better than it ever had to be. Even though like it doesn't really hold up now, it was way better than it had to be.
Mega Man Legends. Well, Mega Man Legends is just a lot of fucking charm for what I think it is.
Yeah,
and
the writing was surprisingly good. It was goofy, like...
Yeah, no, it was super colorful.
It never took itself too seriously.
Right.
Like Mega Man in general, all of the boss designs were great.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It still had Wily skulls and everything.
No.
Even it was Tron, they were definitely Wily skulls.
Yeah, no.
But like, and even though the environment and the mapping wasn't amazing, they definitely were like trying to take a page from the Book of Zelda and try to like figure out how to put an action adventure character in a 3D environment.
Yeah, exactly. A lot of games struggled, and
I think as far as like pointing like your arm gun and shooting and like being Mega Man, that's probably as close as you're gonna get, and like veering into like role playing, because Mega Man Legends is a role playing game. It is. But like the same that Zelda is a role playing game. Mm-hmm. You know, you're going through. You can get a powered up Buster or whatever. Yeah. There's mini games just like there is in Zelda.
The other nice thing is there's a visual representation of your progress throughout the game.
Right.
When you're upgrading gear and stuff like that.
When you first get a helmet too.
I mean, even the original Mega Man, where literally it's just a palette swap, but it is still a visual representation of, I'm different now. I have some other ability that I can do.
The only thing I wish that Mega Man Legends had is boss abilities, which I understand their approach is more appropriate, because if you try to include this is good against this boss and this boss is weak against that, it's really fucking hard in a 3D world.
I mean, Mega Man Legends was a very linear game that the other Mega Man games weren't.
True. That's also true. And
because they were telling a story, as opposed to the previous Mega Man games, where they, especially the X series, really incorporated telling a story within the world, like depending on which boss order you fought the bosses, it would affect other stages. But they never had an overarching story.
Right.
It was, okay, here's the introduction. Wily's done something, because it's always Wily.
Dr. X or whatever that other guy's name was for like a second.
But yeah, no, there was the, hey, this is what's going on. and then you would have like another cutscene after you beat the bosses, and then you would go to Wily's castle or Sigma or whatever. But there wasn't really that much narrative. But when it came to Mega Man Legends, they were trying to have this overarching narrative and a much more linear structure, even though there was an open world and they had other side quests.
I actually really like the story of Mega Man Legends. Even though it fucking Deus Ex Machina hard at the end. I really appreciated it. But
I'm amazed that it got a sequel, but I'm also happy that it got a sequel. And then there is also Tron.
I mean, Mega Man Legends 3 is probably like the best.
The best Heartbreak? Because, God, that was why I bought a 3DS.
Yeah. I bought a Switch for Metroid Prime 4.
You got a JPEG? Yeah.
I love that. I cherish it every day. I'm gonna get a printout and laminate it. And
I'm not sure why that's not your. I would say why it's not your desktop background. But you bought
like
Wallpaper Engine, and therefore you have to use Wallpaper Engine.
Well, it's like it was different. I made Xenoblade Chronicles 2 my desktop background.
Oh boy.
For a while.
I had to take off the glasses for that.
Because I was really looking forward to it. I was like, I bought a Switch for Prime 4, but then Xenoblade Chronicles 2 was going on, and I'm like, I gotta get this game. There's no fucking way I can't get this game, and you know, I'm actually working on a video about that, so I'm not even gonna talk about this on the podcast. That happened. I'm gonna finish it on stream.
There's nothing wrong with like anticipating games though. Like, I mean, unfortunately, there's a lot of games that get built up to a certain
Anthem.
Yeah. It's getting built up. That game especially is getting built up a lot, and I really want it to be a good game. I want it to succeed. I want it to be awesome. But then there's that EA that's just lingering over it, casting its shadow.
And Titanfall 3.
Literally, yeah.
Titanfall 3 is going to be the first Titanfall that EA is going to have direct control over.
Which is ridiculous, because Titanfall 2...
was a fucking masterpiece, and everyone loved it.
It was, because Titanfall 1 was a great proof of concept, and then Titanfall 2, they let loose the reins, or like, Respawn, make your Titanfall. And they made an amazing game.
Yeah, and the only reason that it didn't sell the numbers that EA wanted is because of EA.
Yeah, no, EA actively screwed it.
Yeah.
And the thing is, Respawn continued to support that game, and there's like 50 gigs of free content that they've added post-launch.
Yeah, she was a fat bitch.
Yeah, no, that game is massive, and it was all free.
All free,
and it was the least EA game out there.
It was the least EA game made by EA. Which, now I mean,
that's the sad thing though, because like with Anthem, where this game could be great, but EA has already come out and said they go. We're not having microtransactions yet.
But
we don't know how we're going to implement them, but we're going to add them post-launch. It's like, you don't even know how you're going to do it, and you're already like, come on, open up those wallets, let me see.
There we go. That's good. Okay. All right, we're gonna go into what is actually on this
on the docket.
Yeah, this is a pretty well written list here. This is going to be talked about for 2 seconds about the Soulja Boy console.
Yeah,
which isn't a Soulja Boy console. It was just an already Chinese thing
bootleg machine
that he put his name on. They got a lot more recognition than it needed to because it had Soulja Boy's name on it. People were like, Soulja Boy's selling a console.
Well, I feel like so many people, and it's our generation, where they see Soulja Boy is making a console, and it goes back to middle school, where they're like, yeah, crank that hoe and stuff. Like, because you think of...
Imagine if it like Crank That Soulja Boy played whenever you hit the power button.
It's like the PlayStation 2 opening screen.
It's like, Superman!
It's just Soulja Boy at the loading screen.
It's Soulja Boy
the thing is,
doing the thing.
The worst part is, that is way more effort than I guarantee you Soulja Boy is putting into this console.
What do you mean,
the most I think he's going to do is slap a logo on it that is his logo in really big quotation marks.
I'm pretty sure the legality of it has sunk it under water.
That too. But I also like he was like, no, don't worry about it. We have a team of experts, and they said it's okay. And it's like, no, it's not.
If it emulates one Nintendo game, he's fucked. If it
emulates
like one, like I'm talking about not a game on a Nintendo console. If it has a Mario game on it, it's donezo.
Yeah, that's like 3/4 of the 800 games on there that are very just sloppily put onto the console to begin with, because there's just a bunch of folders and menus that you're trying to navigate through.
Even there's open software that fucking is better than that. Like,
honestly, the Ouya is better than this. Anybody remember the Ouya? Everyone raise your hands. Raise your hands for the Ouya.
my dog raises paw, dude. You can't see him though.
Lincoln, you remember?
Oh yeah, that was a mistake.
Well, but at least they tried to do something different. Theirs was all Android based, and then every game that was
it was like cloud based gaming, right?
It was I believe so.
Yeah, there's people who
but they
are
at least
still
they
trying
tried
to
do something with it.
Yeah.
But this is literally just I'm taking this bootleg machine, maybe putting a logo on it. We don't even know if there's a logo.
Yeah.
But then saying that it's yours, and that's the weirdest part about it.
Have you seen the PSP look-alike things that are emulation?
The Chinese ones? Or?
Yeah, there's emulation boxes. Like the handheld, I don't know, handheld eBay is where we're gonna go.
Oh no, those stupid things that they sell at Walgreens.
No, not those things. Okay, well that's the most handheld. That's the most popular handheld is not a 3DS.
Handheld radio.
It's a two-way scanner. So let's just do handheld console, I guess, maybe.
Those
and
are
you'll get these
99 cents to $26.
Here you go. Like these they look exactly like PSPs. They're usually 3D printed. And they usually it comes with a fucking Game Boy Advance cartridge, dude. And they usually just play emulated games. This one even comes with a composite cable. So this is actually it's pretty dope. Play some Fatal Fury on it. What is this one called? This one called the PXP3. And there's these. It's basically the Soulja Boy console, but
in your hand.
Yeah, and they usually do a better job. To be honest, I mean, you see these people make actual fucking look, that's 1,200 nearly. Oh wow, okay. They just moved to 2,200 of these things sold, and they're just, dude,
they even have the same thumbsticks as the PSP.
Yeah, it's just a PSP, and it's a $29 thing that used a PSP molding, and there you go. You got a little. I don't know why those are also arrows.
Yeah.
But it actually reminds me of something called the Wonder Swan that I really want.
So that's the thing is, first off, there are better options out there than this. Second off, you can get it for $80, and he's trying to sell it for, what was it, $100, $200? Something stupid like that?
Oh, yeah, but Soulja Boy. I mean, Supreme. It's just a fucking white hoodie.
Yeah.
That's all it is.
With a red box with white text.
And sometimes they change the red box and charge more. What is that?
Because it's a variant.
Yeezys?
Oh, yeah. Isn't that what they're called?
Excuse me for a minute, but because I'm biracial, people come up and like, I really got Yeezys. I'm like, no, okay, you're assuming that I like sneakers. But you should see my shoes. I am not a prideful person about my shoes. They cover
and Yeezys are ugly.
They're so ugly.
They're actually just ugly shoes.
What is that obsession with being ugly and paying a lot of money for it?
Well, that's the thing is it's so much of a status symbol where literally you are wearing these. God, they better be comfortable, but they're these hideous shoes. But it is a fashion statement. That's like most Gucci products. Yeah. There was this kid that I went to high school with.
Beats headphones were a fashion statement.
Yeah, but Beats at least I think looked acceptable.
Oh, true.
But this one kid, he had Gucci shoes. They were brown with little brown G's all over it. And we called them his grandpa shoes. Because they looked ugly as hell. But he was like, nah, man, I got Gucci shoes. I was like, that's cool, but they look dumb.
I wonder if there's anything Gucci that I would ever wear.
Oh, no. Now we're
I'm going to take... This is... But I have to know if there's anything. I'm not going to look at the price of anything. I'm just going to look and see if there's anything for any reason.
Why do his pants have laces up the legs?
I would never wear that. Okay. Ready to wear? Do they sell clothes that aren't ready to wear? There's a ready to wear section. Okay.
Oh, that's.
I would buy that from a thrift store.
Well, that's the other thing is a lot of this.
Look at that shit.
Oh boy. A lot of this
That's
just looks like
hideous.
stuff that you could literally find at a thrift store, but it doesn't have the, Gucci on it, and therefore it's inferior.
I would wear this. I would wear that. Oh my god, I saw the price.
Your
I tried
Letterman
not to.
jacket.
I'd wear.
This
Okay,
is
I'd wear some of
Napoleon
these
Dynamite
coats.
looking guy.
Yeah, he looks really.
Yeah.
Oh wow, I would not wear that. There's no. Oh my god, these are so hideous. I'd wear that, but just because it's kind of a joke. So how much does it cost? Like fucking god.
$3,000. All right, let's close out of the Gucci website.
I'm gonna buy something Gucci before I die, Chris. And it's probably gonna be right before I die, actually.
You die
on my
because then you
deathbed.
realize how much you just paid for
Oh,
something.
I didn't know. I die of a heart attack.
And you just write a letter before you like feel it coming on, and you're just like, bury me with this.
Yeah, you better. If I buy something Gucci, you better. And that's the thing. Like, why would you own something that if like a droplet of spaghetti sauce got on it, it's the end of your fucking life?
Well, that's the other thing about people that, especially that collect shoes, where you're spending like $3,000 on these shoes. And then you never but they never do. They have like shelves and shelves and shelves of shoes that just sit there. Yeah, those are $3,000 shoes.
Yeah, Sneakerheads.
It's like, what about? But you're not using them for their intended purpose. But that's I say that, but then as a comic book collector, I actually read my comics. But there are those where they're like, this is the first edition, first printing of Spider-Man. It is
a history though.
Those
Shoes,
those are definitely a lot
in sneakers.
True. There's definitely a lot more history behind, like, this is the first appearance of Spider-Man. That's why I have it in a glass case. Do not touch it, or I'll kill you.
Yeah.
And, this is a shoe. It's a Jordan. It's $3,000.
That's it.
Yeah, but it's really ugly, and...
I could understand if it was, like, the first shoe Michael Jordan came out with, right?
Yeah.
When he first, was...
Either that or I appreciate they had the Back to the Future shoes that were supposed to, like, they light up and they, like, lace themselves up and stuff. I was like, that's a cool novelty.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Anyways, that's
the transition there.
Yeah, that's the transition.
That's our conversation about the Soldier Boy. About the Soldier Boy console is
and then
into his shoes.
So the next things are just like gonna be quick touches. So much like your uncle. So we're gonna have there's the Humble Bundle is Humble Store, the humble people, which I don't know what you want to call them.
The humble people.
They're very egotistical people. Now are selling games for Switch, but they're not on sale. They don't cost any less. You just have to go on your PC, pay for the game, you have to get a code, and you have to go in the Switch store, and then enter the code, instead of using the Switch store and just buying a game on the Switch. Which, it's fine, because now your money is somehow going through the Humble Bundle people, humble people, and may or may not reach a charity. But there's no way to know.
Especially when it's the same cost.
Yeah, it's the same exact cost.
And it's Nintendo.
And Nintendo doesn't share.
Yeah, Nintendo doesn't share. Nintendo doesn't lower their prices. They don't do any of that. So
I think I mentioned it because it was a hopefulness that maybe you can get something cheaper. For some reason, one of the only stores that discounts Nintendo games frequently is Target.
Yeah.
And I don't know if...
No, I like going to Target because they discount games and they discount movies pretty regularly, and they'll have good sales on them.
Mainline Nintendo games.
Yeah. Where it's like, oh, that's normally $60, it's $30 right now. It's like, that's awesome. That's how I got Titanfall 1. It was like a week after the game had come out. Mm-hmm. Target had this like flash sale where it was $30 for a few days. Got it brand new a week after it released.
But I guess also a hopefulness that maybe one day there's going to be like a Nintendo Switch Humble Bundle.
Oh, that would be awesome.
That'd be fucking amazing. And it would be like... It could just be the indie games that are just re-released on Switch.
Do they have Humble Bundle stuff for other consoles already?
Yes, they have. Humble Bundle already has stuff for like PS4 and stuff.
I'm only familiar with it when it comes to.
They sell
PC.
books too, right? Yeah, they sell books. So as you can see, it's just full price. These you got all your mainline games. Expansion passes, you can buy online memberships. What the fuck is this? Pokemon Quest Great Expansion Pack?
Pretty sure it's just like a match 3 or something like that.
Okay, never mind. Just don't worry about it. And you got 3DS store too, which is cool. Blue version, but as I said, you're just gonna pay money here to get a code to go enter it on your 3DS.
Well, that's what blows my mind when people come and...
Excuse me? Is this just a season pass?
Oh my goodness. But the people that... Oh no, you put it in your cart. But no, the people that come with their parents and like the kids that their parents buy them like V-Bucks or they buy them PSN money or Xbox or whatever, like Microsoft, their money or whatever, those gift cards, I don't understand that. Because like, why don't you just cut out the middleman and connect the card? I understand if you just have cash and you want to then, you know, use that cash to get a gift card. But I will never understand when you're using a debit card to buy a gift card for something that you're going to use.
Yeah. Can we please talk about this?
What is it?
Fire Emblem Shadows of Valencia
Yes.
costs less than the season pass costs more than the game.
There would be a lot of content.
I'm looking for what the fuck happens in the season pass. I don't think I have a season pass. I have a collector's edition, but I don't think it came with a season pass. What? Okay, here we go. DLC. Let's see what we get. I know we're sidetracking, but like, yeah, and this get it all with the season pass.
So does that have the game in it?
All 5 DLC. To download new content when it's available, you can purchase directly from the game or enter. No, it doesn't. It's free DLC. A bundle of maps and a dungeon designed to avoid it.
There are games that, I mean, there's plenty of games out there that their content like the cost of the side content far exceeds the cost of the game.
Not a fire. I didn't even know Fire Emblem had DLC nowadays, which is that's on.
Yeah, Nintendo, when they got into DLC, they got into it hard because they started that. I feel like with the Wii U, where they really jumped into DLC, and since then, I feel like they've handled it really poorly. Yeah. Especially with the last Smash Bros. For Smash Bros. Wii U and 3DS, where there's like 9 different characters, and each one is like $5. And
there was no character bundle, right?
Nope.
You had you had to buy them all.
They ended up adding bundles with like stages and Mii costumes and stuff like that, but it was like it got stupid expensive if you wanted all the content.
The season pass for the new game is not that expensive.
No, absolutely not.
But
they made it sound like there are going to be multiple seasons, but they're doing a much better job with it because it's what, $25 or something like that. There's 5 characters, and each one comes with a stage and music. So you're spending $5 per character and you get a character, a
and
stage,
it's also DLC where, well, I don't feel like Nintendo's ever made DLC where you feel like, oh, there's the other half of my game. Nice, you know? Because there's been that DLC that's like, you know, like other games. I mean,
where it is like, oh, this is how you get the true ending. Or there have been games where DLC, you buy this DLC to literally get like hard mode in the game. It's like that's just regular content that should already be there. Why are you selling this to me as as DLC?
And I think I'm a victim of lowered expectations now, where it's now, you know, when I buy Call of Duty, I'm like, oh, whew, 4 maps, hell yeah, here we go.
Yeah. Well, that's like the first Battlefront that EA DICE made, where the season pass that was $50 had more maps in it than the base game.
Yeah.
There were like 12 maps in the DLC,
and then
there
people
were like
who were
9 in
the game's
the base
good
game.
with the DLC, the Destiny Conundrum.
Yeah, no, I ended up getting, because they had to discount the hell out of that, I ended up getting it on PC for like $5.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, that they really shot themselves in the foot, and then they had their second attempt with Battlefront 2, which again could have been a good game, and then they ate it up with the loot boxes, where kind of like Assassin's Creed Unity, where there was already so much bad press, regardless of how good the game ended up being, it was already dead.
Yeah. Yeah. So making games and then selling half of it as DLC. And that I was mentioning that because Smash Brothers is not a case of that, because it has so much fucking content in it already.
Well, even Breath of the Wild, where they have a huge season pass, but all it does is add extra content that tacks on to the end of the game, but you don't feel like it cheapens the ending. You don't feel like hey, this is the true ending of the game or anything.
Did you know Hollow Knight has DLC?
Doesn't it add like extra bosses or something like
It
that?
actually had 8 free DLC updates after its release of extra bosses, environments, dungeons, enemies. I'm talking free DLC.
Well, that's the difference
They're
with
just
especially
updating the
indie
game.
companies, where you have Hollow Knight, you have Shovel Knight,
Yeah.
where they have been just adding more and more and more content because they met all those stretch goals. And Shovel Knight, I think, is definitely the best example of, hey, we did an awesome Kickstarter campaign, made way more money. We are incredibly grateful because now everybody knows who Shovel Knight is. Shovel Knight's even in Smash, not as a character, he's as an assist trophy, but still, he made it in Smash as an indie game. And now...
Shovel Knight's made it into anything.
Yeah,
Everything.
well, Shovel Knight is now in everything. And he's one of those characters where it almost feels like he was one of those mascot characters back with Mario and Sonic and so on, where it's like, oh, no, he's always been around, but he hasn't. But they have done an excellent job with their DLC, where they did everything that they said they were going to do, which is very rare to find with Kickstarter games.
Have you heard all the Bloodstained news?
Oh no, I don't want to hear the Bloodstained news because I want that game to be good.
I didn't either, but I peered over and I didn't want to see it.
They keep pushing it back too.
They push it back and they keep canceling things about it.
Yeah, well that's like with Shaq Fu, where they're like, oh, if you donate this much, you can have a party. You can have a party with Shaq.
Dude.
I know, but the thing is, like, they create these crazy goals and then they don't follow through with them. But it's also by the same people that did Mighty Number 9.
Following the Mighty Number 9.
Oh no, that's exactly it. And they literally started with, like, essentially, we are not going to make the same mistakes we made with Mighty Number 9, and they're doing exactly the same thing.
Yeah.
And it's really unfortunate because the team, like, that team has talent because it's drawing from all these different studios that had hands in these great games.
I've watched and read so much material on what happened to Mighty Number 9, and I still don't fucking understand what happened to Mighty Number 9 besides, like, a lack of investment from the creator himself.
And that was the thing, is it was Keiji Inafune is almost like, fuck you, Capcom, I can make not only a new Mega Man, but a better Mega Man than you on my own. And it didn't happen.
It was...
He was like, trust me.
terrible.
It's going to be better. Trust me. But we are pushing it back 3 months. Trust me. We're working on it.
Didn't Mighty Number 9 have some, like, weird mechanic where you dash through enemies to get health or something like that?
And then, I mean, Mega Man 11 essentially ended
I
up
was about
using
to
that dash
say,
mechanic.
yeah, Mega Man 11 took what Mighty Number 9 tried to be, and then Capcom gave Keiji Inafune a big fuck you because they made a better Mega Man game than Keiji Inafune, the person who was supposed to be the godfather of Mega Man.
Oh, absolutely.
He fucking abandoned him. You know, if you take a child and, like, abandon it out in the wild and someone else is a better parent, then you can't be mad.
Then we have the opposite side, or like, with Kojima, where his departure from blanking, fuck it, but with Metal Gear, where he's you know, making his own
Konami.
Yeah. But
Konami's
he's making, God, what is that? Death Stranding, which apparently is just a backpacking simulator. It looks like.
Yeah.
But again, he's built up so much hype. But I feel like it's still going to be at least review really well, regardless of how people end up feeling about it, as the consumers end up feeling about it. I feel like it's one of those things that's going to review really well. It's almost the opposite of Venom, where it reviewed really poorly but made fat stacks.
Venom's a masterpiece. I don't know what you're talking about.
The thing is, that movie's getting a sequel because it made so much money. The thing is, it made so much money as everyone stood around putting their hands out to warm by the dumpster fire. They were like, I mean, I know it's really bad, but I have to see it. There was this weird conundrum, and we got sucked into it too, where it was like, we know it's going to be bad, but we have to see it.
It was a piece of art. I don't know what you're
On
about.
a good note, though, they have to find a new director, because the last director was the guy that did Zombieland, which he can do great movies, but Zombieland 2 is apparently coming out at the end of this year. So that's why he's not directing Venom 2.
Zombieland 2.
Yes.
Holy shit.
Yeah.
Okay. So
Just mentioning earlier, I talked about Mick Gordon. I actually forgot I had this on here. We were talking about Mick Gordon is obviously gonna be doing the soundtrack to Doom Eternal. I actually would protest Doom Eternal if Mick Gordon wasn't allowed to do the soundtrack.
Oh, absolutely.
Because it like I don't like what fucking music could you possibly play? Well,
yeah, no, it's cemented in itself as being just iconic.
Yeah,
and that is that sound that you want when you want something to be impactful, if you want to elicit certain emotions.
Like Killer Instinct.
Yeah, exactly. Especially with his hand in Killer Instinct, where, like...
He's just metal as fuck.
Yeah, absolutely.
And he's recruiting a choir, which... That's just what he does. Like, the Spinal theme, he just...
Yeah.
Instruments that were bones. He just...
Well, it's kind of like when Skyrim was coming out, and people were like... Oh, here's the Skyrim choir, and it was like 30 people, and they just like kept playing the voices over top of each other just to kind of loop it and make it sound like there were more people. But Mick Gordon's like, that's cool. I'm gonna make it metal as fuck. And it's gonna be huge.
Yeah. Do you know Hans Zimmer?
Yeah.
The guy, like a Pirates of the Caribbean that Hans Zimmer would be the most.
So,
gross.
An example of this. With Mortal Kombat 11. I'm very excited for. They announced it like a month ago. Yeah. They're supposed to be doing the press, like the big press reveal for it. I believe it's on the 12th of January, so like tomorrow, to date this. But after the first reveal trailer, the voice of Scorpion, who's been the voice of Scorpion for the past 10 years, goes, well, this is some way to find out that I'm not voicing Scorpion anymore. Yeah, that's dirty. Like, that's really messed up, and it's really...
That has to be political, because there's, I mean, like, they can't be like, oh, he just did a bad job of...
Yeah, no, he was the voice of Scorpion. Like, when you hear Scorpion, you think of that. That's kind of... And it's weird, because it's... A lot of cartoons do that, where, like, you know, there's the definitive Optimus Prime, there's the definitive Batman, and there are other actors who have done voice acting for those characters, and it never quite feels right.
Ash Ketchum. Listen, that prepubescent voice had, like, that the very first prepubescent Ash, they've never been able to capture again since.
Oh, absolutely. But but that's the thing, is like, it's never quite captured the feel of that character. Now, the opposite end of that spectrum is God of War, which already has gotten so much praise, and we don't need to praise it anymore. But they switched voice actors. I forgot that came out. Oh my god.
Well, they switched voice actors and changed the whole fucking game. So
that was the thing, is that they had to switch voice actors because they were going for this huge tonal shift.
Yeah, for Daddy Kratos.
And the thing is, like, you see the voice actor of this guy, because they had him at the Game Awards. First off, the man looked like a pimp. He comes strutting up with this crazy-ass suit on. He has Boy with him. And he did exactly what you were expecting, because the kid had the little envelope, and they were... I forget which award they were doing, but he just goes, read it, boy. Oh my God. It was like, it was fucking beautiful. But this man... Like, you look at him, and he looks like a god. Like, he has just crazy chiseled jaw. But that's a huge sidetrack, but he did such a good job of still sounding like Kratos, but capturing more emotion. Because you couldn't, for the story that they were going with that game, you couldn't have this crazy screaming Kratos. The thing is, Scorpion already had, especially in Mortal Kombat X, had a wider array of emotion, and they had parts where he was he wasn't Scorpion, he was just himself, and he was just talking and having conversations with people like a normal person. And so obviously he has the range to do that. So I don't know why you would go and take such an iconic voice actor and be like, nope.
Weird. That is really weird.
But they've been very strange about the entire Mortal Kombat 11 in general, where they, like I said, where they kind of, like, they're like, oh yeah, we're doing our big press thing in a month, and the game comes out in 4 months, or 5, I think it was 5 months, but still, like, most games, you hear about them, like, at least 2 years before they come out.
Yeah, because at the the huge video game press conferences where everyone's like
E3
coming out
and
with
stuff like
everything
that,
they got, E3 packs, those kinds of things.
And they finally, everyone expected it to be at E3, PAX, Evo.
Yeah.
It never happened. These reviewed.
Dude, I love it when fighting games get revealed at Evo.
Yeah.
Because there's all this hype and everyone's having a great time. They're like, but we want to release a new fighting game. I was like, what?
Yeah, exactly. No, it is so hype. But they did it at the Game Awards. And it was so funny because they had Ed Boon come on. It was like immediately after Best Fighting Game. They had Ed Boon come on and he was like, yeah, for the candidates for Best Racing and Sports Game. And everyone's like, what the fuck? What are you doing here, Ed Boon? And he's like, all right, the candidates. And then the trailer plays and everyone loses their mind. But it was just like, why didn't you have him do it for Best Fighting Game? You still could have done the same thing. It was just weird. But NetherRealm games in general have, especially when they're first revealed, had a general lack of polish. And so I feel like NetherRealm is kind of trying to that's why it seems so rushed, where they're just putting this long delay on announcing it, but also being it comes out immediately. It is coming out so soon.
Yeah.
Because they're able to really polish it. And the thing is, they always polish their games to make them look better. But people are so, again, with games where it's that initial reaction can kill a game. Where it's like, oh, this is broken. Oh, the faces look dumb on this.
Chun-Li.
Yeah, exactly. Marvel vs. Capcom Infinite was plagued with that, where it's like, Chun-Li looks dumb. Yeah, but look at all this gameplay, but Chun-Li looks dumb. And I mean,
they also call characters functions and a lot of other things happen.
They didn't do that game any favors, and they definitely didn't try to save it.
Okay. Segue. So, brand new Wii U's are being sold for $800 and people are buying them. There's two parts to that sentence. Is they're being sold for $800, and the second part is people are buying them.
Why?
People are paying $800 to experience the rush of opening a brand new failed console. And it's not like a Sega Saturn where it's like, this is a piece of history. It's not a piece. It's never. The Wii U's never. I think it's gonna go where the Virtual Boy did. The big fucking red goggles that nobody talks about.
No, the thing though with the Wii U is it is literally a prototype for the Switch. Especially it becomes more and more obvious that it is every time they put a Wii U exclusive onto the Switch. It makes the Wii U less and less relevant.
It's getting less and less and it should be the way that I've been following, because I wanted to do video game collecting a lot, and I wanted to complete my Wii U collection, which wasn't hard, because I was like, oh cool, 5 games that are Wii U games and that's it. So to do that, one of the games that was really, which just got released as Zombie on other things. Which is really
God, yeah, it did.
Yeah,
because it was Zombie U, and then it just got released as Zombie, and that was really weird. And it was a bad game, so it didn't need to get ported anyways.
Yeah, it was. So here's the thing: it was really funny because it's the same game, but when it got ported, it got bad reviews because when it was on the Wii, relatively it was average because its competition was worse than it.
Yeah.
And it's really funny to see that it got released on PC, and PC, the video gaming spectrum is too fucking big for a game like that.
Oh, absolutely.
And it just got terrible reviews because it's not good enough on that platform.
There's one game, and I don't remember the name of it, but it was supposed to be this really gritty third-person shooter for the Wii U. And they only put 300 copies in stores.
That's weird.
So it's become this crazy, almost collector's item, where it's a really shitty game. It's trying to be really edgy. You heal by hanging out behind a corner and smoking. Exactly. No, so it's ridiculous. It's kind of like Metal Gear Rising: Revengeance, that kind of level of just cringe almost, without being as self-aware.
Yeah, no, I was going to say, Revengeance doesn't take itself seriously.
Yeah, no, absolutely. This game takes itself way too seriously.
Yeah.
And it was so funny.
That's what makes it cringy is when it takes itself seriously.
Yeah. It's now that game. Sorry, I don't think you're gonna complete your Wii U collection with that one.
I think collections are things that you want to collect.
True.
But anyways, what I was going to say is, to complete my Wii U collection, I needed Bayonetta, but there's 2 versions of Bayonetta for the Wii U.
Oh god.
There's one it's Bayonetta 2 by itself,
and there's Bayonetta 2 that includes Bayonetta 1.
Yeah.
And that one, the price was it went up to like $130, $140 to get the one that included the first game. And when they announced it for the Switch, that shit went down to $40. It was amazing. And that's how things should work. But as the Wii U is getting less and less relevant, it's getting pricier and pricier, which doesn't make sense.
Well, that's the funny thing is, like, the Wii U that I have is the Legend of Zelda Wii U that has, like, the gold trim all around it.
Oh, yeah.
And I got that.
The one that's in a box in the closet.
It's not in the closet. It's behind my dog's cage.
Yeah, okay.
But yeah, no. That one I got for the same cost as a Wii U.
No, it's the 4-hour controller. Don't worry about it.
8 hours.
Technically 8 hours. $80.
But yeah, so I got that for the same cost as a used Wii U at the time because my friend worked at GameStop and they had just gotten it in. He was like, "Here you go, like, take it."
Okay, factory sealed PlayStation 2 is $450.
That's insane. Also, it looks like somebody wrapped it like a Christmas gift.
So, and there's, I mean, it's kind of going down a little bit. Oh, that's something else.
The
Slim. You know, it's selling for $400, $350 roundabout. So you can open from factory something that it's also not guaranteed to work because
it's been sitting in a box
for a long time. Yeah, but you can brand new PlayStation 2, which I guess more of them were made. So I don't know, maybe a brand new. Let's see what like a brand new. I know a console that. Not a brand new WonderSwan. I know those don't go for much. I'm trying to look for something that like people are trying to collect hardcore. Oh, they go for about $300. But I'm trying to think of something that is like really off that people would want that didn't have a lot of printing. But I'm trying to justify the price of a Wii U.
No, there's no justifying $800.
Let's a brand new. If you want to buy a brand new factory sealed PS3,
with the camera and the move and the.
Oh damn, that's awesome. But let's see. No, I'm looking for. Oh shit.
Oh, is that it comes with Uncharted?
That's it. I mean, it's still the fat PS3.
Yeah, that's the. OG.
Oh my god, they're selling for $1,000. The fuck. For the
and you just
one
have this bundle of cables and console for $103. Oh god.
Yeah, I was gonna retard laugh, so I just had to keep it going.
It's neckbeard laugh. Please don't offend the R's.
Don't offend my letter of the alphabet, you fucker.
You letter fucker.
You letter fucker. Just see someone with a little envelope and they're humping it.
Oh yeah, baby, use that letter opener.
Yeah, they've got a letter opener sticking out their pants. Oh, the slit.
Ew. Wow, we just made the worst.
So Catherine might get a PC release. Glaze over it. Now, Resident Evil 2 is being released, and I haven't given a shit until now, and it's one of my favorite games, so I feel kind of bad.
So, what has caused you not to care about it up until now?
Because it's just Resident Evil 2.
But I mean, they're making it from
there's
the
no
ground
like
up.
I haven't seen a single shit of marketing a bit.
The marketing on it has been very lacking, but that's the thing.
Aren't they making it from the ground up? They're just making Resident Evil 2 again, though, right?
Yeah.
Okay, but this is for Resident Evil 2.
The main controversy with that game is that it has the over-the-shoulder camera of Resident Evil 4.
I hate that.
I'm sorry.
I fucking hate that. Really?
Yeah.
I actually might not even play it.
I'm sorry.
That's... No. Because I understand that there's a lot of mixed feelings between whether it was a technological limitation or like an artistic decision, but it was both. There's a reason for the fixed camera angles, and here we go. I am a Resident Evil tank controls elitist.
No one should ever be a tank controls elitist.
Where I think
I don't even want to control a tank like a tank.
You know why I'm a tank control elitist? It's because I played Devil May Cry 1. Go play Devil May Cry 1 for 16 hours. And tell me that you don't want tank controls. If I have to hold a direction and my character can go in
have to hold
3 directions because the camera angles keep changing and I have not moved my fucking joystick, that's a fucking problem. And if Mario 64
absolutely.
can figure it out, you can figure it out too. Okay? Like I'm not like that game, although it brewed an amazing franchise, is fucking atrocious from a modern perspective.
Oh, absolutely. That is one game that is definitely not aged well trying to go back to it. You see the concepts there, and I'm glad the concepts were then fleshed out with better games. But that is not one that...
It was fucking awful. Yeah. And made me want to end my Devil May Cry thing, which I almost am, because I'm still putting it on hold to a Fire Emblem retrospective, which I guess I'm starting with the Game Boy Advance games. I think I'm going to start with the first localized Game Boy Advance games because they have cracked ROMs where people have translated the ones that were in Japan, and I don't know. I can say, hey, that's cool, and then we can move on and go to the next thing and go. I've actually thought about something that someone else does that I think I might do, is I go backwards instead of going forwards, and I've never...
That's a very... That. I feel like that's a bad way to go about it.
That's what I thought too, but it also... It, instead of looking at a skeleton and then putting like muscle, like organs, like and then muscle and then fleshing it, it goes from like the flesh down to the skeleton, which I thought, because you start to lose mechanics and ideas, and then you start like getting more frustrated. But like I feel like,
especially controls wise,
when you see like I'm trying like when you get the final idea and you take that final idea and you
strip it down to its core,
and after playing all the new games and knowing what they actually wanted and playing the old games, you're like, oh, okay, I still see what they were trying to get at here, you know. But that's...
I feel like you could get the same feeling though by playing a newer one and then going back, starting from the beginning, and you're like, yeah, okay. Like,
so maybe I won't start at the one that I'm going to start at, I want to start at Awakening. And then I'll play... What's the next one after Awakening?
Why not Fire Emblem Warriors?
I'm going to fucking play that in the retrospective. I'm going to play it after one of the Game Boy Advance ones.
Oh, no.
So I'm actually going to jump around and I'll play it in chronological order, which used to be a problem for me. I actually... Let me tell you, I used to hate not playing games in chronological order, and it was a real problem because of games like Final Fantasy. I tried to play it in chronological order, but it doesn't matter.
No, it absolutely does not matter.
So why do they number them? What do they give them subtitles? You know,
I mean, they did that with 13 because there were 3 different versions of 13.
Lightning Returns.
Yeah,
I love cosplaying.
What?
Lightning Returns is just this whole game of her like switching out, it's all the outfits.
Yeah, okay.
So like,
I was like, what a weird segment. I love cosplaying. I was like, you've never even cosplayed.
Next
I love it.
No, I love cosplaying culture. I do not love the act of cosplaying.
But don't you dare ruin Miku. Yeah, there we go. That's the reaction.
Okay, well let's talk about it. All right, let's talk about it. Let's talk about cosplaying and doing a character bad, because this is gonna be controversial as fuck. And let's go ahead and put it on the podcast, because fuck it. So you have people who are like,
fuck it. The podcast. Welcome to the Toxic Hour, baby.
Fuck it. That's it.
Welcome to the Toxic Hour. Fuck it.
Fuck it. I kind of so cosplaying something bad is offensive. I'm gonna put it like that, and it's not because you're ugly, so don't do what you want to do. It's because when you bite into something and it's not what you wanted, it offends you. So let's talk about cake, right? Let's talk about Let's talk about an 11-layer chocolate cake. Those are one of my favorite fucking cakes, and I don't know why. I don't know why it's one of my favorite cakes. But when I eat it, I know what to expect. Whether it's from a grocery store, whether it's homemade, doesn't matter where it came from, 5-star restaurant. To me, everywhere I eat an 11-layer chocolate cake, 7-layer, 10 too many fucking layer chocolate cake, it
too much
tastes
chocolate cake.
amazing, and I know what to expect. But if I were to bite into a fucking 11-layer chocolate cake and it has absolutely no sugar and it's absolutely bitter chocolate, or in the cake part tastes like lemon, straight lemon, not sugary lemon,
they
not
just took
lemon
a lemon
cake
and they I was gonna say they
just
take like lemon
lemon
cake and they dyed it brown. I feel like that would also be offensive.
Yeah, but with no sugar, like, so it's sour.
Okay.
So when you take my waifu, which I love Miku, because she comes in too many iterations. She's like a sandwich. You can't hate it because you can make billions of different sandwiches, but there is still a formula. Do not give me a piece of meat and a tomato and tell me it's a sandwich. I need 2 slices of bread and something in between them. So when you take Miku and you put on a wig and you go out and you're in a jeans and a Metallica t-shirt.
Well, that creates a whole other issue because then you're not cosplaying it. You took the
No, they're gonna tell
effort.
you. They're gonna tell you. Oh, I'm my OC Miku version.
I'm Metallica Miku. Fuck
I made a me on my Wii, and this is the Miku me that I am.
No, because that's not an issue with cosplaying though, because that's taking.
The cosplayers are where it's most evident because people do that shit all the time.
If you put 0 effort into cosplaying a character and it looks like shit, like, hey, I bought a Miku wig and I'm wearing a Metallica t-shirt, absolutely, sorry, you deserve to get shit on.
Yeah.
But if you hand knit a Miku costume for months, I'm not going to shit on you for that.
Yeah.
Like, you put your heart and soul into that.
And
regardless of how good it looks, if you clearly put effort into it, no one should make fun of you for that.
True. That could be true. And I mean, it's hard to make something low quality that you put so much time and patience and love into, you know? Like,
the quality's going to show. Like, at least the amount of effort is going to show.
It's going to show there. And to be clear, this isn't about like gender or race or being an Indian Miku.
You could be a black man dressed as Miku.
There's an official Indian. There's an official racing Indian Miku, and she's fucking hot. Holy shit. She because they I know Miku's already got like a really slender design, but they made her look like if you threw her she would go fast. Like she just it's like
so they made Miku the lawn dart.
She looks like a Formula 1 car. She's sexy, so you know. I mean, brown Miku is good Miku. I mean, there's nothing wrong with that.
Because you can especially get away with that with Miku, where Miku can literally be anything.
That's the thing about being an offensive Miku is that Miku is already a thing that can be anything, but there is still a realm of rules. I mean, you talk about this with like any kind of make believe. You know, world where you have the what is it called, the disbelief,
suspension of disbelief.
Yeah, where suspension of disbelief, where it's like you make a world, but there is rules in the world you made. You still have to abide by.
Yeah, no.
Or else you're.
I mean, that's with anything where, as soon as you start to break those rules, people lose interest. And in the case of cosplay, I mean, there is so much you can do with that, where it's like, this is my interpretation of this, and nobody can fault you for that, or like, but yeah, no. I think the main issue that we're running into is doing it without actually putting the effort into it. Yeah, the stuff, and I'm not saying like you have to be a Jessica Negri or whatever, where like this huge superstar that has these questionable cosplays, I would say, because some of hers are just like really spot on, and then others are like, this
isn't
is
the girl
sexy
who lied
variant.
about losing weight?
No, that's Momo-kun.
Oh, I don't.
Yeah, Momo-kun's the one that like has had like 4
I'm the
different
fucking weeb, and you know more about cosplayers. Look at this guy. Okay, all right, we're not. I'm not doing that.
Well, that's another thing is like people complain about like, oh, this cosplayer just bought all of their stuff. It was like, that still takes us, I don't know.
Frank Sinatra didn't write his own songs.
Oh my god, you monster.
It like, that doesn't mean he wasn't a great artist.
Well, the thing is, like, you can be a great singer and not necessarily have to write your own stuff.
It's like America's Next Top Model. Like, all of them are fucking gorgeous, but only some of them can model because of, like, making yourself look somehow more attractive by posing and looking a certain way.
Well, it's kind of like, with American Idol, and we had talked about that briefly on one of the streams, was, like, how Simon is a dick, but, like, when you are trying to essentially find someone to market, you need them to be attractive, you need them to sound good, and you need them to be marketable. And if this is a man screaming in a chicken suit, I'm sorry, you don't make the cut. Like,
I feel like, and this could be also personal preference, but I feel like, you know, a good personality can make someone look a lot better too.
Oh, absolutely. If you present yourself in a very likable way, like, who is it, Brendan Urie, the singer of Panic at the Disco?
Yeah.
he was at the Game Awards, and he did, like, Best Orchestral Sound or whatever for a video game. This man looked like Nosferatu walking up on the stage. He comes up hunched over the mic stand, mumbles some shit, and then hands an envelope to somebody and steps back. The thing is, this man has made himself the face of Panic at the Disco. He is the only remaining member. He is... God, girls go crazy for him. But looking at that was almost this very kind of humbling thing where it's just like, he is definitely just a human. It took him from this, like, pinnacle of, like, oh my god, that is a man, to, like, he's just, like, a weird dude.
He's yeah. And it's crazy because Panic at the Disco has become such a sellout. You think he'd be like,
yeah,
Chad Brad by now.
Well, that's the other thing, is he seems so out of place, and I think that's part of it, is that in music videos and things like that, any kind of video, you can make yourself look as good as you want to look. You can do as many cuts as possible, and then that was live. This is one take. This is exactly how, like, you gotta do your best first impression because you are not in control of every element.
That's why I wanted to do YouTube rather than Twitch, because
you can make people, like,
I make mistakes.
Yeah, you can cut out all your mistakes. You can look as good as possible. You can have
look
the
perfect.
funniest, best content because you were recording for 8 hours. You chopped it down to a 10-minute video.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah. But then now I have to, like, with Twitch, you have to be interesting for 8 fucking hours. So it devolves into, like, screaming, being confused, your viewers saying random shit and you replying to it, which I guess the viewers is what makes 8 hours possible. Anyways, moving on. There's a blind movie coming out, Touched, and Tales of Vesperia.
touched.
Tales of Vesperia, again, I love the Tales series, and I think I think I'm on the side of the fence that other people don't want to be on when it comes to remakes and re-releases. Is I don't think there's anything wrong with making older games accessible to a newer generation. I think, and that's my take on it. People are like, oh, it's just a cash grab. They're just releasing an old game, and they haven't done anything to it. And it's like, but if it plays like the old game does, and it stays true to the source material, if you don't fucking have a GameCube or PS2 or a way of emulating it, and you want to like pay money for it and get it legally and do all that, because people pay money for video games. Please, no, I'm not promoting piracy. That was just a poke at Kai there. So, and I think it's fine. I don't know about Resident Evil 2. I don't know about that, but. Do you know if it has there's games where it's like, you want to play the old shitty game, you want to play a new game? Do you know if it has that?
I have no idea.
I think because when I'm thinking about Capcom, I don't think they're going to include something like that.
That's kind of like, you're talking about like with Halo 1, where they redid Combat Evolved, and you could toggle back and forth between the old graphics and the new graphics. I don't think they have that. There was also, I know it came out on Switch, I think it's on Steam and stuff, Wonder Boy, where they had redone the graphics for it, but you could still toggle back and forth between the original graphics and the new ones. They also added where you could play as a girl, so they actually had to do a brand new sprite for the old game where you're playing as a female character. I think that's definitely really cool. But then you have games such as Secret of Mana or Mana, however you choose to pronounce it. But that came out, I believe it was 2018. It came out, I believe, last year. Yeah. And that game, visually, I thought it looked really good. But the gameplay did not hold up. That game was very rooted in its combat, and they managed to essentially ruin the combat. And that's the issue, is you can make these games look good, and you can remake these games all you want, but if it doesn't play well, nobody cares. That's why it's kind of nice to it's almost a crutch where if you build over the framework of the original game, like these ones are previously stated, like Halo Combat Evolved, where you can toggle back and forth, you are forced to build on top of the limitations of that game and stay true to that game while still making it at least a visually more appealing game. You could still do stuff to like tweak the menus and make those more accessible. It really depends on the company though and how they want to approach it.
Right. And that's, I guess, a lot of what I want to say is like, there's a difference between taking something and saying, this, we remade it, we worked on it, we built it from the ground up again, but it's this game, we just remade it, which they kind of do that with movies too.
Well, that's also like Final Fantasy VII, where that game has been in development hell for like 10 years. They've remade the game about 4 times now.
Yeah.
And they keep pushing it back, but they've never actually said a release date for it. But, I mean, it's Square Enix. Yeah. They can afford to do that somehow.
Yeah. So my problem arises only when it should be handled the way that Street Fighter Anniversary Collection was handled. This is an old game. This is a collection of old games. You can buy it. It's not going to be full price. And they're emulated well. It's the original arcade ports. It's what people want, and that's it. So I went and I grabbed Odin Sphere, Let's Marafner, and the problem with this game, and I have a specific experience, which is why I am pointing out this game specifically. This game was not redone. It wasn't vamped. It wasn't anything. It's HD. It has official widescreen support, but all the sprites are the same quality. The thing is when they worked on this game originally, they overdid the shit out of the graphics, and there was nothing at the time. Well, graphics, but they're hand-drawn sprites.
Yeah.
So they were really overdone, and there was nothing that could actually show how amazing they looked. It was on PS2, I believe, PS2 or PS1, and it just, the widescreen support for that which wasn't enough to show just how fucking phenomenal it was. So all they did was take the original game, add HD support, and it's $60 fucking dollars. So the thing, and I was a little bit upset about that because you can buy it. I own this on PSN. So I own the old version on PSN, and the thing is, whenever it's being emulated, it's still not as good just because the base game just doesn't have that official widescreen support like this one does. So when I went to the store to go buy it, they had one copy left. I think he said it was out of the plastic. And when I asked for like Odin Sphere, he obviously was like, okay, this guy's some fucking neckbeard collector, so he had to tell me it's out of the plastic. And I was like, how much you guys selling it for? He said $60, and I was like, $60? And he said it's a new game, and I want to take my glasses off and be like, okay, look, fucker, I know you don't know a lot about everything that comes in the store. You don't have to be a fucking mega genius.
You don't have to be a dick about it either.
But also, yeah, he was dead. He was like, it's a new game. And I was like, okay, it's actually not. This is an HD re-release, and it's not even an official, like, they didn't go anywhere and touch up textures. It's a 2D fucking game with hand-drawn sprites. Okay, it looks like watercolor, and that was the first thing that drew me to it. And then, like, the actual, like, this is, if I don't know if you know or not, but this is the baby to Dragon's Crown.
Yeah.
Right. So, and it was, they still don't, and this looks normal because this box art, but don't think they're not fucking proportion fucking whack as fuck like Dragon's Crown.
Like
They're whack as fuck.
And people always want to talk about like the Amazon stuff, but it's like, have you seen the dwarf?
Yeah.
Jacked.
Like the fucking, the king has got like legs that are like this, and his like torso is like it's great.
It's all over
his torso
the
is
place.
massive. But this is an example. This game should have been $20 on shelf, no fucking questions asked. If you can buy it in the PSN store for $10 and it looks marginally not as good, and I'm a fucking sucker for this game, and I'm a fucking sucker for anything that I absolutely love, like Miku, alright, that if you just slap your fucking face on it, yes, I'm going to pay for it because of how much I love Miku, and I loved this game, so I wanted to buy it and see it in the best possible quality and play in the best possible quality I could. But $60 fucking dollars?
where you can have.
I would say I could even justify like $30, which that's the thing is like a lot of games like what was it, the Crash Reignited trilogy?
Yeah. How much was that?
It was like $40, and they put their souls into that. Like
that looked amazing.
That's the thing is that they remade those games from the ground up. They literally created a program that would scan the original game so that they could figure out where geometry was to gauge where they were building stuff, so that it accurately represented the original game, and they were able to make jumps and stuff and all that. They put so much work into that and then sold it as a $40 game with 3 full games in it.
Yeah.
That looked amazing. Because, like, the Crash trilogy, like the Insane trilogy, looked really good, but Spyro Reignited trilogy I feel like was absolutely a step above that as far as the quality that they put into that. I mean, they had to figure out what the hell a lot of these enemies look like. They went to was it Insomniac that made that one?
Yeah.
And we're asked, it's either that or Naughty Dog. No, Naughty Dog was Crash, so Insomniac made Spyro. But they actually went to them and were like, hey, what is this enemy supposed to be? And they're like, oh, it's supposed to be this. But because of the limitations, obviously, they weren't able to accurately represent that. They put so much work into that. And
who the fuck was this published by?
Oh my goodness. But
sorry.
the opposite side of that is Odin Sphere, where it is literally the same game.
It's just the same game!
My experience with that was the God of War HD collection for Vita. So they had a HD like trilogy, I think they did, for PS3.
You went ham on some Vita games, dude.
Where it had God of War 1, 2, 3, Chains of Olympus, and Shadow of Mordor. No, I'm just kidding. Whatever the other... Ghost of Sparta, that's what it was.
Okay.
But it had all of those games. The Vita God of War HD collection had God of War 1 and God of War 2. And that was it. And it was 540p. So it was technically HD. That was the least amount of effort they could have possibly put into it. And compared side by side...
SD.
Yeah. So, compared to the collection...
Yeah.
What are you wasting your money on? Like, that is ridiculous.
Yeah.
But no, I loved the Vita when it came out. And, I mean, because it was touted as console-quality games in your hand. It was... had so much potential, and Sony absolutely squandered that.
You can use an external hard drive with your Vita?
That sounds stupid.
That sounds fucking hilarious. I want to see a guy.
You would have to have the Vita Slim that has the USB connection on it, or because you wouldn't. There's no way you'd be able to do it with the Fat Boy.
Yeah, the proprietary.
That had that weird, ugly connection on it.
Yeah, it's a weird, ugly connection, but the screen looks better. So
the screen absolutely does look better. No. I mean, I have the Fat Boy. I love it.
The Fat Boy.
My ex bought the Slim. I still love my Fat Boy. Poor Vita.
Yeah, well, that was the thing, is like one of the best looking games for the Vita was the Uncharted game that came out. That used a modified version of the Uncharted 3 engine, and that game looks gorgeous. The Killzone game that used a modified version of the Killzone 3 engine looked gorgeous. And then they just dropped support for it. We're like, yeah, no, people don't want console quality games. Yes, Catherine is already on PC.
Well,
What, are you going to delete it? Yeah, it's not a rumor anymore. No,
yep.
I meant to tell you. Sorry.
Wow, dude, you're a little late here.
Yeah, I know. I saw that on Steam this morning, but on wishlist, following. Can I wish for it again?
I wish there was a physical Hollow Knight soundtrack.
Like a disc or like a vinyl that you could plop into your record player, you hipster.
Fucking fine. Don't call me out on the stream, bro.
Now you're just going through your wish list. What is this?
This is the ugliest fucking model I've ever seen.
Anyways, talking about things that can't see. What was the last thing? Oh, that's so. But we were talking about the remake thing.
That leads to a good conversation about HD remakes, like the HD remake for Shadow of the Colossus that just came out on PS4 is exceptional. It makes a already beautiful game look fully realized, because it always kind of looked kind of muddy and looked very like almost like Silent Hill, where the draw distances weren't great, and everything was like kind of cloudy. This cleared all that up. It looked gorgeous. They even fixed the controls some. That is an excellent way of going about doing a remake or remaster or whatever you want to call it, without feeling cheated. And again, that was another one that I believe it was released for $40, so it was not released full price. Because if all you're doing is selling somebody...
What's that fucking game that's supposed to be the new Shadow of the Colossus?
Are you talking about that orc killing game?
No.
Oh.
Is it orc killing? No, you had a pet and you'd whistle and it would...
Oh, because I was thinking about the one where you're like this ninja flying through the air. It's kind of like Attack on Titan, and you're like trying to chop up these giant orc people.
It's made by the Shadow of the Colossus people. Who are they?
Oh, you're talking about with Trico. My Dog Simulator.
What is the name of that game, Chris? It died so quick, bro.
Last Guardian, but yeah. Well, that was the thing, is like, it was like those games always have really bad controls, but they're held up as these masterpieces. Because honestly, the games themselves are solid, but you have to look past a lot of bullshit to really enjoy them. The Last Guardian had no excuse. Well, they did have an excuse. Their excuse was that, we're trying to emulate what it's like to be, growing a relationship with this dog thing. But it got in the way of making a fun game.
Yeah.
And that is the number one thing. If your story, if your mechanics get in the way of making a fun game, you've missed the ball.
Remakes.
Okami has been remade to shit over and over and over
Wait,
again.
well, how much is it? It's $20.
It's $20, yeah, absolutely.
It's absolutely
and
amazing.
It's definitely one of those
$20.
games where it's like, yes, pick it up, play it. Especially at $20, if you can just pick it up and play it, you don't have to beat it, but just experience it.
Yeah.
Okami is definitely one of those games.
Okami is
I feel like kind of like Journey, where it has to be experienced.
Okami is one of... It used to be the only game I played from start to finish without turning off my console.
Holy shit.
Well, let me tell you the story. I don't know if you know the story. Everybody gets to know the story now. I got Okami. I told you the first time I tried to buy Okami, it was stolen from me by a neckbeard who was taller than I was because it was on a shelf that was too high.
Oh, yeah.
And the second time I went to get Okami, again, I saved up some money, I got Okami, because I don't know what it was about. I don't remember. I don't think I saw any reviews or anything, Chris. I think I just wanted the fucking game. I did see, I was staying up late one night, and on G4 TV, they said something about it, and I saw like the game paused and they did like a brush stroke and then an enemy got hit and I was like, want it. I was like, done. I was like, you can paint and hurt people? Hell yeah.
Never painted in my life, but yeah.
Yeah, exactly, dude. I was like, I'm gonna brush stroke the fuck out of you, bitch.
I made a bridge.
You in a
I
club.
slapped a bitch.
You in a club. He's like, I got my Glock. And you take out this paper.
You just slap the shit out of a guy. You just got ink across his face. He's like, what the hell did you just do? You're dead. Oh.
I
guess I'm dead.
Anyways, so second time I got Okami and I went home. I started playing it. I put it in my Wii. So this is I got Okami first time for the Wii. I went back. Somebody bought it for me for the PS2, and I want to order it for the PS4 because I fucking love it. So,
you want to go get it? Do you already have it?
Okami for the PS4?
Yeah.
No.
I
don't have any money. Oh, the post office is supposed to pay me money. Okay, this is not the time to... Anyways, so
you don't have any money.
Anyways, I put it in my Wii, and I will tell you, it was the afternoon, and I started playing Okami, and I played it all through the night until the morning, until I was too tired to play it. And I will tell you what happened. I had the wrist strap on, I fell asleep, and I woke up. I didn't brush my teeth. I didn't leave my room. My door was closed, and I can remember my door was closed because that was one of the things that wasn't allowed in my house. Is that my door closed? I don't know why my door was closed. I think I just didn't want to be bothered. And then I started playing it, and then it was like noon. And my mom was like, "You want some lunch?" I was like, "Sure." And so I finally took it off. I took it down, and I went downstairs, and I got my food. And she hated it. She hated this because my dad would do it. He'd take the food in the living room. I took my food. I took it upstairs, and I was eating it while I was playing Okami. And then I ate dinner while I was playing Okami. when I went to go take a shit, I still had the Wii remote wrist strap on, and I went to go take a shit, and I'd wipe with the hand that was the nunchuck hand, and then I'd go, and I'd go back to playing Okami, and I've literally for that week did not leave my room except to eat and poop, and I played through that game 100% in one run. It's the only game I've ever done that with. And the second game I've done that with was Remember Me for the 360. But that wasn't a long game. It was really easy.
Yeah, no, that was a game that when it was announced seemed like an amazing concept and didn't meet expectations.
Anyways, my point is, and then you release this, it's $20. This should have been $20. The GameStop employee should have not yelled at me because I thought a re-release of a game that
should have been cheaper than $60.
Yeah, should have been cheaper than $60. This is a fucking masterpiece, and it's $20. All right, and that's how it should be. I think old games should be made accessible for newer generations, and if you're gonna remake it, you can charge a little bit more. It depends on like how much. Crash Bandicoot, Spyro, you can charge a little bit more.
And the thing is, they didn't.
Yeah.
Like they charged under full game price, but they were I think about like $40, so it was still above like I'd say indie game price where it's the $20-$30 range.
Yeah. This is one game.
Yeah.
$20, not remade. That's 3 games completely remade.
Yeah.
$40.
Yeah. No, absolutely. And that's a huge debate that people get into where it's like how much, depending on the amount of work is typically the answer, but how much should you charge for a re-release of a game? And I 100% agree that depending on how much effort that the team puts into it and how, like, especially Spyro and stuff like that, where like clearly they rebuilt these games from the ground up, they look gorgeous, you can justify that. But when it's, yeah, we ported it over to a different system, you're welcome.
$60.
Yeah. No.
That's bullshit.
That, first off, I mean, that's with all media, but I feel like definitely with video games where it's like the passion that goes into it, and that has no passion. When you ported something over to a different system, and then you charge someone $60, there's no passion. That just feels like looking for money.
Yeah. Yeah. And even, I honestly feel like Okami HD is just a cash grab, but, like, I don't give a shit, because, I mean,
also, there's still, like, yeah, we can make $20 off.
I mean, you can make, like, it doesn't, but, like, it's just $20. Like,
Yeah.
it's not enough for me to be like, oh, well, I mean, but it's just making it accessible for new people, and that's why it's okay, is because it's like, if you don't have a PS2 or a Wii or whatever, and you didn't play Okami like that, the way I played Okami is I actually, like, fucking drew the shit.
Yeah, with the Wii.
With a Wii remote, and, like, that shit was, like, when I went back to play it with, like, little joysticks, I was like, what? This is fucking
feels like a lesser
weird.
experience.
Yeah, it was kind of,
I think they have it on Switch as well, and you can just like swipe across the screen.
oh, that'd be badass. Do they? I don't know.
Maybe I'm crazy. I don't know.
I think also that, you know, they should just, I mean, sure it is on PSN, but like having like PSN, like, I think, does PlayStation 4 doesn't have any old games on it anymore. They have some PS2 games, but I think that's it.
Yeah, because PS3 and Vita were both really good about having PSP games, PS1. They started getting PS2 with their virtual library, and that was great because I loved on the Vita being able to be like, hey, I really loved this PSP game. Oh, hey, it's on the shop. I can go ahead and buy it again. Yeah. And now I just have it.
And Xbox is doing a much better job than they are now. And Xbox also is doing fucking... Okay, so Sea of Thieves actually has crossplay. But listen to me. And this is where I'm getting a little defeated. Is that I kind of want to just buy it for the Xbox One and just call it Dunzo. But I really wanted it on PC.
Mm-hmm.
But the thing is, I can play with people on PC. But the thing is, like,
isn't it still? It's like full price for like $50 or something like that.
It's $60 on PC, and you can get it for $20 for Xbox One. The thing is, if I buy it for my PC, Chris, I can download it on my Xbox One. It can go either way, but why the fuck would I ever do that? It's on my computer.
Yeah, you have no reason.
Exactly. That's why I want to do it. Also, there's the incessant buzzing that happens when I'm streaming. And that still hasn't had an answer to it yet. I fucking, you know, can we all? Let's all have a moment.
Oh no. And this is the mind of Grizz. That was my water, you bitch.
And now we both have herpes.
Oh no!
Bear
Bear herpes.
Where is the thing? Is it? Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah.
She's picking it up.
Yeah.
You like it?
No.
That's what I fucking listen to whenever I edit. I really want to play SoulCal,
Oh my god.
but nobody fucking cares.
All right, let's play SoCal.
What time is it? We still have 10 minutes.
Did we?
Doesn't it feel like we've been talking for 4 hours?
Has it not been 4 hours?
Dude, it's been almost 2, and that's including the extended intro where we didn't actually.
Where we just dicked around for a while?
Yeah.
Yeah. But we're so good at dicking.
Bromance.
Oh god.
How the fuck do you talk for 2 hours? Every week. So there's 2 reasons I want to do a podcast. One is because I can say I have a podcast. 2 is because I wanted to get better at meaningful conversation during streaming.
For long periods of time.
For long periods of time.
Extended conversation where you don't have something you can focus on.
So I'm not playing a game right now. I am just fucking talking. So if I do more just playing games, do more just fucking talking, can fucking talk and play games. I'm hoping.
That is the dream.
That's my end goal here. That's what I want. So that's one of the main reasons for doing a podcast. Also, it was Taco Bell.
Yeah.
And we had to watch iDubbbz. But I want to stream SoulCal. And right now is the prime. So I've noticed, as far as numbers are concerned, which is I've 100% resolute numbers don't matter. So numbers aren't my prime goal. Let me not say numbers don't matter because it's bullshit. Numbers are not my prime goal, but it's a good thing to keep track of. So it at least has to say something about the quality of what I'm doing for the amount of people who are involved.
Because hopefully it's a gauge of how engaging your content is, how
Yeah.
enjoyable your content is, that you're able to hold a certain number of viewers.
Right.
But also, you got to think, if you have that one viewer that is literally there every time, watching every stream, super active every single time, that's awesome. So in that case, numbers definitely don't matter if you even have that one person that's super interested.
I feel like, we just got done watching the content cop on that Asian guy.
Asian guy. Jake Paul.
Asian Jake Paul. I can't remember his name. But
it's Rice something.
Rice Gum. So
Yeah.
so he's got huge fan base, all gone. They made the content cop. His subscriber numbers went down. It didn't kill his channel. He can't kill a channel. But his numbers went the fuck down. Ninja doesn't stream for one day, even though it doesn't make a big difference because he's gonna be rich anyways. His numbers go slam down. I would rather have a small, dedicated community than a large, easily fluctuated community.
Because those aren't dedicated viewers.
Yeah.
They may watch all of your stuff, but if you miss one day and they just disappear, those aren't actually dedicated
Especially,
viewers.
there's
I don't understand
if you
that,
say
though.
one thing they don't like,
Yeah.
then they're just like, fuck you.
That's the other thing, is you essentially, I think Donkey does an excellent job of it, and he had his whole rant about
Reviewers?
game reviewers, where you have 20 different people and getting all their varied opinions. People are going to like different games. People are going to get different things out of different games. And so if you see some game as a 9 out of 10, and then you go in and you're like, this game is trash, I hate this game, what the hell were they talking about? That game wasn't for you. Yeah. And when you watch a soul person like Donkey, where he does his one video, and you see his opinions of these different videos, you have a general idea of, okay, this is what this particular person likes. And you can then form your opinions around that. In some cases, you're going to agree with them. In some cases, you're going to disagree. And that doesn't really matter.
Their tastes.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
And you can use that to gauge your own taste, where you're like, okay, based on what they said about this, I have a general idea of how I'm going to feel about this. Either I'm going to really like this, or I'm going to really hate this.
And a really fucking amazing example of this is SNK Heroines.
Yes.
Because I love waifu games. I adore waifu.
This man
games.
loves waifus, waifu games.
Fucking love waifu.
The word
games.
waifu.
The game could be absolutely trash, and they're like, "Hey, waifu." I'm like, okay, all right, I'll give you a little. All right, let's do it. And SNK is a fucking
awful game. It's an awful waifu game, which is the thing. It's awful at waifu and it's awful at game. And
Well, because they dress your favorite waifus in these dumbass costumes to start with.
to start with, and then like the game engine's really bad. It feels so wrong. Everything you do feels wrong.
If they were gonna do weird costumes, they could have done like the Miku thing, where you have like 10 weird costumes for every character. But no, they had 3.
Yeah, and I mean,
And one
they're
of
not
the weird
DLC.
costumes was their default costume that they should have started with to begin with.
The models just aren't attractive. Like, even if you get past that and you're like, I can say that, okay, I don't like the way the engine feels, but it's decent. It's decent if you dissect it and think of a person. If you're thinking of it from a perspective as a person who constantly plays fighting games, and you're looking at the hitboxes and how it functions and the functionality of it, it's decent. But if you're a normal person who wants to take your waifu with tickle bitties and beat the shit out of another girl who's barely wearing clothes, and that's what you're excited for, it doesn't even deliver on that, which is the like single prospect. You got Dead or Alive. You got Dead or Alive, which is a decent game and can do that as well. It's like you might as well do. And if you just really want your SNK waifu, just go play King of Fighters 13. It's still the definitive one.
The thing is, on top of everything, the mechanics, I would flat out say, are bad.
And it's using Smash mechanic, and I mean,
but they aped Smash mechanics, did a terrible job with it. There are so many.
Can't duck.
There are so many. Yeah, that sucks because you can duck. You can even duck in Smash.
What? Yeah.
But that's the thing that's so crazy. There are so many Smash clones out there that are amazing, but this tries to take a 2D fighter, present it as a 2D fighter, and then give it Smash mechanics, but really badly.
Oh yeah, I told myself I wasn't going to try to review this game in the middle of this podcast. Instead, just go and do a separate review. And
it's okay. We can. There's time for a separate review. There is so much to talk about with that game.
It's using the visual engine of, is it 14 or 14?
14 was the last King of Fighters.
Okay. It's using the visual engine of King of Fighters 14, which is not appealing. It's using air dashing from anime fighting games, and it's not anime. And it's using a system from Smash Brothers on a 2D traditional fighting plane with tag mechanics from that operate on a health pool system like the Naruto games, and it's just doing all of it the worst way possible.
The one, I wouldn't even go as far as to say redeeming quality about it, is that they at least made an interesting way to finish matches. That you have to finish matches with a super. Yeah. The only issue is that game can be, or that concept and that mechanic can be very easily exploited and broken, as we found with the game, where if you just swap back and forth super quick, if you just swap back and forth and you hit the hell out of somebody, because there's iframes when you swap, instead of most games where when you're swapping, you can get hits on both characters, you're invincible when you swap. So instead, you can then use that to your
parry
advantage.
Supers.
Yeah. And then just beat somebody to death.
Yeah, you can end quick
seconds.
matches really quick. I mean, any fighting game you can end matches really quick, but
at least in that case, with fighting games where you beat someone really quickly, it felt like some amount of skill went into it. Yeah. Where this was, you swapped a bunch, you punched a bunch, and you hit the super button.
There's a lot. I was actually a little bit surprised by the amount of customization and the fact that you can take different characters' outfits and put them on other characters, but it's not enough to justify that. No. It doesn't matter if all the customization still looks like, poo poo pee pee butthole. It's still going to be poo poo pee pee butthole at the end of the day. It doesn't matter how many stickers or horns or hats you put on it. If
I don't want to put a sticker on my waifu's face. Take that out of the game. Take that out of games. I'll give you $10 more.
Oh no!
It's so silly to me.
If it could even you want to build your own waifu, Soul Cal 6.
Yeah, no, Soul Cal 6 is so robust with the customization.
Oh my god, dude!
And with their season pass, they're adding so much more customization.
So much, dude.
I'm looking forward to that.
And even as I was really mad about when you look at the numbers themselves. So when you look at 3 characters, was it 2 armor packs? It's
4 characters if you count the very first, the Harley Quinn girl.
I don't count.
But you have to have the season pass to get her.
Okay. So, I was mad because I was like, I paid all this extra money for just a few characters and a little bit more outfits, but I underestimated the scale of each individual update. So when 2B came out, and Chris, they've actually been fucking. They've been fucking. They've been fucking. So
damn, dude.
They released 2B, and silent without any fucking word, added like 10 more outfits to the game. Just didn't say anything.
Yeah.
And it has nothing to do with 2B.
Yeah.
So then they added 2B's outfits. They gave her 5 weapons, a stage, some music. You get 2B. You get her. Do you get her moveset for custom characters? I don't know.
I'm pretty sure.
You might. I know sometimes they don't like doing that.
Well, no, because there was that one that was a robot girl from Tekken that was using her moveset.
Yeah. So then you get her moveset, and then when you get the extra. What's the word for it? Just has a look and it has no value. Aesthetic. Things like the fucking like the clothes and stuff. Like all the armor packs are actually much larger than I thought they were. Yeah. They're gonna have a lot more to them. Like I thought it was gonna be like
it's like 50 pieces each.
So so it's gonna have a decent amount in there. So I'm looking forward to it.
At the end of the day, it feels like you're getting your money's worth.
Yeah, because of the scale. The thing is, like, if they would, I wish they would have, because with advertising, like creating scale, even though if the thing you're giving to someone isn't big, but you can make it look big, it's a bigger deal. It's a lot what advertising does. They didn't do that. They did
a really bad job, and it was very convoluted because it was like, okay, am I getting 3 characters? Am I getting 4 characters? Technically, you're getting 4 characters with the season pass, but it was not very well.
Yeah, it was bad.
Yeah, I mean, the Soul Cal 6 marketing in general was very poorly done, especially if you ever wanted to get one of the collector's editions, where it was like, okay, depending if you get it from this retailer in this country, you get this content, but if you buy it from this retailer, you get something else. If you buy this one that comes with a statue, it's unpainted, but if you get it from here, the statue is painted. It's like, what am I buying?
Yeah,
it's so complicated.
It really made me want to buy a European version, but I can't run European versions because of the refresh rate and differences. And I don't think the PS4 is region locked, but I think
you
can play Japanese games.
I was gonna say I have the Japanese,
but version. I don't think you can play European games. I have to double check. I know you can play Japanese games because Japan and me solely in Japan share the same region. Anyways, but. I was wanted to buy the European version because the European version has the season pass.
Yeah.
In the collector's edition,
yeah,
and that's why I bought the deluxe version, and not the collector's edition, which I think all it had was a Pyrrha or a Sophidia statue.
Yeah.
The Sophidia statue.
But there were versions that came with art books. There was all kinds of stuff.
Yeah, there was all kinds of
people want to give
shit.
Fallout 76 a hard time about I didn't get the kind of bag I wanted, which that's bullshit. But at least you still got a bag. And this, you have no idea what you're getting. You're like, is it an art book? Is it a statue? Is it a hand job from my favorite waifu? Like,
praise Fallout 76.
No. I am absolutely not praising it. But at least at the end of the day, you got a bag.
You got a bag to cover your head and hopefully never have to see Fallout 76 ever again.
You just you zip that bag up around your head until you asphyxiate, and then
it's
you realize
Fallout
you wanted
76
to
is
play
one of those
game.
things that you were like really excited to get into, and you played it, and then you were like, someone's like, "Hey, didn't you buy that one game?" You're like, "Well, fuck me, who me? No, dude, I didn't. What fucking game, dude?"
No, it's one of those things where it's a Western RPG that they wanted you to. They're like, "No, we can do an MMO," and it's like, really? Because the last time you did an MMO, it wasn't that great, and then they.
Fun.
What are you doing?
I'm showing you something. I want to know what you think about it.
Are you buying guns on eBay for the game?
This is an in-game content.
Yeah.
This is illegal.
So you are buying someone else's
gun
for $5.
Buy. So when you hit buy it now, which
he tells you to meet him.
Yeah, he tells you
trail
to go meet me at Burger Joint. I got the shotgun in your 1,000 caps. Thanks for your $5. And thank you for your free flat rate shipping, by the way.
Well, that's what I love. Where I had bought, it was Windows operating system, and they were like, plus a free, it was like hard drive, but they showed a picture of it and it was just this busted thing, like this hunk of metal, where they're like, but you have to pick this up because eBay's terms of service, you have to have, if you're selling somebody something, it has to be a physical product.
Yeah.
So they have to tell you, oh, I'm selling you this hard drive, but you have to pick it up from my house.
That's why, yeah, this is against eBay terms of service, and it's like no one's doing anything about it. No one cares.
That's so crazy. And
here's my problem. Why the fuck, of all the things you're going to spend your real world money on, in-game content for the most busted game ever? Just go look at the YouTube video about how to, get the infinite cap glitch.
Yeah.
And just do it yourself.
The thing is, Bethesda games have always been broken, and they're, for the longest time, first off, they haven't really looked that great. And they've always been broken.
And they use the
excuse of, oh, but it's this massive game. It's this huge game.
It's so girthy.
But then, I'm pretty sure it was like Final Fantasy 15, where they were comparing other game worlds to their game world.
Yeah.
And Skyrim was like a nickel on the map of Final Fantasy 15. And that's the thing is, there is no excuse at this point that, oh, well, it's because our game's so big. It's like, no. That's no longer an excuse. There are way better looking games that are way bigger, and it doesn't matter how big your open world is. Sorry. Girls, size doesn't matter.
Yes, it does.
Oh my god. But that's the thing that's silly to me, is that, first off, they're parading around that it's this massive map. But at the end of the day, it doesn't matter how big the map is. If the game is absolutely broken, it's not a good game. And Fallout 76 is the most raw example of a Bethesda game.
So, and yeah. And to go even further on, like, them saying it's just too big, even though it's just a forum post, but I suspect it's kind of, it's about close. It's about how accurate it's going to be. Xenoblade Chronicles X, which has a living environment, which means that creatures that are on the overworld just live about their fucking day. They go and they drink water, they poop, they don't poop, but they walk around, and according to cycles, they'll go to sleep, they go to their dens, they hang out. It's a lot Monster Hunter, but imagine if Monster Hunter, all the creatures were always available and there was hundreds of them all sprawled across the land. As far as making a living, breathing environment, it's better than Monster Hunter. But as far as making something that's fucking glorious to look at and getting really, really, really immersed, Monster Hunter is a little bit ton better. But it is 10 times the size of Skyrim, and it's on the fucking Wii U. So, what you got to say, Skyrim?
Yeah.
What you got to say, Bethesda?
I also really enjoy that, especially now games are getting more into, we really need to work on our AI. And God, Bethesda games AI is just awful. But even Assassin's Creed Origins, I refuse to play Odyssey. I'm sorry. But Assassin's Creed Origins, one of the craziest things that I thought was really cool was people also had their own cycles that they went through, where people had routes that they went on. They, at certain times of day, they went into their house and so on. And so you could actually observe people and see how they go about their day to decide how you wanted to tackle a situation. And there was actually a side quest where it was go kill this guy, and so you're following this trail and you're going along and you're finding these clues, you're trying to find this guy, and completely unscripted, he had been killed by some thieves that came by and mugged him. And that was absolutely not scripted.
Yeah.
Because you could find that guy wandering around, but his path just happened to cross the path of somebody else, and they got in a fight. And I think that's super cool because it creates that, it elevates the level of essentially games being an escapism, and it being this larger living, breathing thing that just makes the game feel better. But not every game has to be an open world.
Not every game has to be an open world. Not every game has to be. God, I can't wait for
we
Sonic
don't love
open
these
world.
hoes. But that's the thing is, like, there are amazing open world games, but God, companies still use the tagline of open world game
Battle Royale
on
Sonic.
like the back of their 100 Ugandan knuckles running across the field.
That's kind of cool.
Wielding AKs.
It's like number one note away.
God, I don't even know.
Number one, you the real queen.
Oh my God.
Hell yeah, we're bringing these 2017 memes out here, boys.
Was that 2017?
It was late 2017, early 2018.
Okay, jeez.
Yeah, when VR chat was
Memes
blowing.
live and die so quickly.
They really do.
The
Have you seen a lemon car yet?
Shut up about the lemon meme! No, don't show it to me. Because I will live on believing that the lemon meme was asking if you've seen the lemon meme.
It's just... Hold on. Let's see if it's still alive right now.
Oh, God. I don't...
Oh, no, it's gotta be dank memes, I think.
Oh, wow.
Because dank memes are like the dirty ones.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Always the, like, pull.
Yeah. Do French people smoke weed or... You got me.
The thing is, like,
You got me.
they're different words, but it's funny, but they're different words.
Yeah, it was OUID, weed. When the robber keeps talking about how he's gonna shoot. He's just an old guy pointing to his clock. Like,
His clock?
yeah.
His watch?
It's clock, nigga.
His wrist clock! You know, the little clock you stick on your wrist. It has a strap on it.
Oh god, they came back as ghosts. Oh
Content.
good. Oh good.
Oh, is it fucking
Sorry.
Vsauce?
Sorry. We live in a society, or do we? Vsauce theme starts. This is so sad, like for instant death. What? I don't understand memes anymore, dude. I never have.
Beepiz man?
Bep
That's
is
like,
man.
Okay, because that's like Pepsi, but... Or Beepiss, or whatever that meme was for a while. Beepiss and Conk. I've gone too far.
I don't understand. Yeah, anyways, there's like a bunch of Mr. Potatoes with guns, and they have ass heads, and what?
That man pulled 2 guns out of his butt.
And they're like, they've got skins. He plays a lot of CSGO, and he's shooting. He's shooting some more.
Oh god, glove skins?
He's killing people. He's okay. There's a shotgun. Oh, but he cartwheeled it. He didn't get shot because he did a cartwheel.
I'm so mad that CSGO is free to play.
It is?
Yeah, CSGO
Oh,
went free to play
yeah,
when they
yeah,
added
yeah.
their,
I think, but you have to pay for the other mode.
yeah, the Battle Royale mode.
Yeah.
It's been like, what, $15 forever?
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know. And it's so funny because, like, for the longest time, knife skins were the big deal in CSGO, and then they're like, oh,
Yeah.
now we added gloves.
Okay. All right, we're gonna sign off
Yeah.
because we're just looking at memes and we're not signing off of anything. It's a fucking it's a
You
static,
sign off.
It's a static audio file.
You gotta sign off.
I'm gonna
Jeez.
upload it and then
Cut out all the part where we were looking at memes.
yeah, no, that'll be like an empty space. I'll write your name. So I don't even wanna fuck with that right now. Is that what I think it is? Oh no, it's not. Okay, anyways. Sorry. Where are we at? Great, cool. We just hit the 10-minute 5-second mark, so let's go ahead and
Time to sign off of the Toxic Hour. Fuck it.
so Toxic Hour. Fuck it.
Toxic Hour.
THFI. Everything's gonna be an acronym of 4 letters.
And people are like, "What's that? What's that mean?" You don't need to know.
Nothing is.
Don't worry about it.
Yeah.
It's just an
It
acronym.
means
Don't worry
fuck
about
you. No, but I actually want to make a real name for the podcast. I'm tired of naming things. I named myself Grizzly. I did a terrible job.
I was gonna say, have you actually named anything?
Gay people just coming to my
Oh
channel.
my god. Are you a bear? I mean,
Are you?
How are you asking?
My bear? I'm like,
I'm
a grizzly. Oh, that's exactly what I'm looking for. I'm like, oh, that's not why. I
have a boyfriend or girlfriend or whatever will get you to go. I'm sorry. But also stay. Don't go.
I have an SO, okay? I don't need to talk to you.
Oh, boy, that's a whole other topic for another day.
I have a sexual offender. Cut. Yeah, no, that's not the cut. Anyways,
is it the cut?
He's tambourine and I'm grizzly.
Tambourine?
Didn't see tangerine.
Tangerine?
Tambourine.
Tambourine?
Possibly tangerine. And I'm
actually, it's a Tangelo.
It's Tangelo.
Shorty got Tangelo.
Does Tangelo is gay? Please donate to my Ligma fund. I was diagnosed with it this last week. So if you could lig my funds, that'd be great.
Lig my PayPal? PayPal? This is the blooper reel after our Roblox video.
I can just play some silly music like they did.
Yeah, this is our Roblox video. Thanks for joining us.
Bye. So, my name is Grizzly. You can find me at twitch.tv/Grizzly Gaming Channel. My Instagram is grizzly.gc, I believe. YouTube is youtube.com/Grizzly Gaming Channel again. And Possibly Explosive can be found on the internet.
No, I don't have any social medias, but I pop in from time to time on the Grizzly Gaming Channel. And the Grizzly Den will always be there. If you want, you got the final link through my Twitch, and that's it. See ya. Goodbye. Wait, finger
later.
Guns.
See you very, very soon. Yeah, it's finger guns. Role playing podcast.